Hey! What's up?
Hello.
Welcome back. It's another week of Expedition Dracana.
Here we are.
Episode 12, y'all. This marks 3 months that we have been playing in this game, or watching this game and partaking in it and being a part of the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, also to put that into place, that's like longer than a Game of Thrones season.
Wow. That is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually like, I tend to usually aim for around that like 10, 12, right?
Yeah.
Super happy that I think we're going to go to around 16.
And certainly more has happened than the entire fourth book.
Well, or at least to characters that we care more about.
Yeah, true.
That was the big problem with that book, is it had all the wrong POVs. Yeah, so last week our party survived a epic mythic avalanche that was infused with ringfall because it had been caused by ringfall that had crashed into the side of a mountain that they had been like trekking along, and they had to flip carts and find rock cover to dive beneath it, survive the avalanche, and at the time didn't know for sure how many people had survived, but immediately, and even before the avalanche, Ash was suggesting that they would need to get up there to find that, to claim that treasure, right? Incredible treasure that this ringfall is. It's fallen from the sky.
Yeah.
And of, you know, magical and scientific worth, whatever.
But also, it's just lucrative.
Yes, yeah. Lucrative for sure. So the party decided to go up despite Furla's ravings that it was a mad idea.
/ voice of reason.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't hear any reason in that.
And at the top, they met opposition in the form of a pair of frost giants who also wanted to claim the ringfall. And the frost giants threw down pretty hard with you guys.
They did. And
ended up basically claiming 3 nameless NPCs, which, because we had not really determined what had happened with the avalanche, we will, I think, be coming to kind of like learn. The players will be coming to learn the fates of those things in this moment, but we know that it had been passed off to some horses and a cart.
Did Navius also take like consequences?
Yes, cracked ribs, and Kalima is a unicorn.
Yes.
Yes. Unicorn! Oh my gosh, I hadn't heard that pun last time.
Unicorn.
I had broken horn. Okay,
Yeah.
I did tap the cracked ribs, but he does still have.
That's actually what I wrote down as the actual
unicorn. I just have to write that down.
Wait, is there some other pun I'm missing within unicorn?
Like,
U is a female goat. Or a female sheep. A female sheep. I don't know if it's a goat necessarily,
It's
but
good enough.
But it's close enough that it's
way good
great.
enough.
Unicorn. Unicorn.
I did not. I didn't even know that. I was just imitating the way the pirate cat and the Rankin Bass last unicorn says unicorn.
Okay, well then I made up the pun, guys. Thank you.
Good job.
You did it.
Okay, well.
I feel so good.
No, I was trying to give credit to someone else, but okay.
We were reacting, we just didn't know why yet.
Yeah. I'm missing it. You're like, this is funny for some reason.
Thank you, Viata. Yeah, I guess. Whatever. Yeah, cracked ribs is a rough injury for sure. Navius took some damage. But you guys are now standing at this, at the foot of this crater that now the steam is kind of worn down. It was burning so hot when it first crashed into the rock that the ice and steam of this place was just billowing up when you guys were battling these frost giants.
That's awesome.
But now, and there is, in fact, a body of one of the frost giants, the male frost giant, fallen over the top of this pile, and his head split wide open by the ringfall. That did not pass through his forehead. I want to make it very clear that didn't happen.
I, as a character and a player, was both surprised about that. Yeah. I could have swore that's what happened.
Josh refuses to believe our fanon.
The player's trying to abduct this story.
So,
if you guys feel that you want to see this rock, it's the last picture on this Instagram post.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
And just give us a follow too while you're
Yeah,
there.
why not?
And
Yeah,
whatnot.
interaction.
Comment and say hello and stuff. Yeah.
Go follow my personal page. I need followers.
Yep. So this piece of ringfall is in this crater, and you guys are beaten up. Furla, you are down below. You don't know anything of what has happened up above. You, Jimothy. I think I want to cut to that group first, if that's cool.
To the low-down group?
Yeah,
Do it.
I think so.
I think.
Is that okay?
I think.
Yeah.
If I were to direct the moment when you cut back to it, I think Furla has just dragged Mango out from the wreckage, and it is not looking good. This horse is
Mangled.
is mangled and broken limbs and is screaming and quivering, and Furla is pissed about it and keeps glancing up at the
Where's the
mountainside
snowman?
and is if they were down here, some of these horses that are dying might have survived. It's taking us too long, and then cuts the horse's throat, put it out of its misery.
Yeah.
Our healer's with you.
Mangled.
There's nothing that can be done for that horse.
No, yeah, it was definitely broken beyond repair. I think so. Yeah, you take it out of its misery, and on the white snow of the avalanche and the mountainside, it is stained blood red with Mango's blood. Oh, are you guys rolling
should
the
we roll
gravity
this
well?
real quick?
Before
Just-
antsy.
Before we- yeah.
After
Yeah.
last
Why don't we just
Get
make
it
sure that we
this
don't
out.
miss
Just
it?
go ahead and get
Okay.
it out of the way.
Gravity well.
What was the other horse?
I need a 16 this week.
Trigger.
Trigger.
Mhm.
16.
Trigger also died.
Come on, do it
What
for
if
me,
it's
Taylor.
higher than a 16?
I'll take
It didn't
anything
happen
higher than
this week,
What if it's just a
Digdia. It was last week
Not
when they
enough.
fought the Frost Giants. They took 3
Come on.
consequences that they traded off to kill nameless NPCs. 2 of them were horses, Mango and Trigger.
One was a small
One of them
wagon?
was a large cart, which was the one that Furla
Whoa.
drove.
I'll take the 18.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow,
In case you're wondering what
Just
the
straight
18.
up.
Where beeth the
I did.
bird?
the clattering die is that you're
I
hearing.
don't know.
There it is.
You rolled
Oh, are we gonna-
place upon.
Oh wait, do we need to put the camera on?
Yep.
Action camera.
Just
Yes,
so
we do.
just so that everybody can witness the bird being placed upon it and there can be no
18.
argument.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh no!
Mine's
Taylor.
one,
Mine's two.
mine's one.
Oh, come on. Minus a million. We're good.
And the second avalanche.
I'm sorry, it was really important that soldier plane was
Trained
right there.
master.
It actually
and
was really important, and
Terrain
you will come to
disaster.
find out why soon enough, and it will be a thing.
You'll blow your mind too.
I accept that
That's
challenge.
why that tree was there.
It'll be a thing.
It's gonna be one.
All right.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, we
So
got an
who
18.
else down here again? It's Jimothy, Lhanji,
Mm-hmm.
Furla,
Tay.
Tay,
Kalima's not there, so
Kalima's
Daniel doesn't have a
upstairs.
person there, but I think that's okay.
Babs Califer.
I can be
Your
one of
badge.
the small or large wagons.
Yeah. There you go.
One of the other horses.
And how? Yep. Okay.
Suddenly becomes sentient, right? And it's gasping breaths.
I'm the mythic avalanche.
So
It
the
woke it up.
so your
Ants were
cart,
born.
the one that you had parked behind the rocky thing, got caught, and maybe that was Mango that had been your horse.
Yeah,
or
was splintered beneath.
was
huge
pulled beneath
shards
it.
of
Yeah, and I think the goods that you had in the cart, I think you're gonna need to search for them. Because the cart is also destroyed.
Have we
Got crushed
saved?
by the
We've dug everybody out at this point, except for Trigger.
exactly.
Trigger is just lost,
Yes.
or we just
Or you
Hear it.
haven't found Trigger yet.
we just hear it squealing on the night.
Yeah, you just haven't found Trigger. There's no sign yet. If you wanted to search, maybe you could find Trigger.
Slowly this.
But you know that the other wagons and the other horses made it okay.
behind the rocks or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, I'll search.
Yeah, well, the big wagon was the one that you guys tipped over, right? And it, I think, fared okay in that state, but I think maybe a search check will need to happen for that wagon for the goods because you also tipped it over and then it
Yeah.
got hit by an avalanche,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like search. I mean, survival is notice, but if you can like narratively give me another way that you could be using survival, search really feels like the correct. I mean, but it is an avalanche, so survival seems to make sense to me that would be kind of in that skill set. I don't know. I could. What do you guys think?
On one
Survival
hand,
seems
like,
to make sense.
Yeah.
on one hand, it does make sense. On one hand, I feel like survival is being used as like a catch-all, which is
Yes.
kind of bothering me.
It is.
But we don't like. I don't think any of us invested in search anyway. So.
Yeah.
I did.
You did? Oh,
It's
well.
my top. It's in my top 2.
And he's and Daniel's at the top, of course.
Right,
So.
of course.
Mhm. But you could
yeah.
search when you get back down to the bottom.
Yeah, sure.
So.
What was in it?
I mean,
In that cart?
The one that you
wish
had,
I
it
could
was.
Tell you.
it-
Oh,
I left my sheet at home.
Oh
But
yeah.
the cart that got destroyed had all the water in it, so we don't have water.
It did.
It's unfortunate.
It had
that
the
we are not
16 things of
surrounded by
water.
it.
no.
I thought it had the
Oh,
catapult.
because we swapped.
We swapped, yeah. That's
Because
what it said, the water
yeah, so
and
it's
the large
got
cart.
okay. So we have the water and food and some other things, but like all the ballista, the shelter, the clothes, extra clothes, all that stuff that we took that is not water or food or
Okay.
got.
That
Wagon was the one that got lost.
that was the large cart
that
that Furlough was driving.
Yes. If that's the one
Okay,
that got
so
lost.
that's what's going to need to be searched for. Which I'm okay with it being like a group effort if people want to be like creating advantages and trying to search for that stuff if you want to.
Sorry, I left.
Yeah, I think
at
if
home.
one of our horses is still missing, I would search for that.
I think
don't-
Tay would
mean,
also-
I know, like,
Well,
as a
I
player,
think it's just it's just a search in general.
Yeah, I
maybe.
don't have any search.
Tay's gonna help with the search for the horse. I think she hears it and is disturbed by the sound and wants to comfort it and find it and comfort it.
Yeah.
So she's gonna. I mean, we can still
I'll,
roll.
I'll aid with handle animal by making noises and stuff.
Okay.
So I'll give you
Alright.
a
I'm
plus
cool with
one.
that.
I mean, she doesn't have any search, but I'm just gonna roll straight. Okay, just as I mean that's a 0. So
And a 1
with
from Furla.
1.
Yeah, I mean I feel like to find this horse in the snow, it's making noise, but it's still going to be pretty challenging, like a 4 or something like that.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
We hear it die as we're kind of
A
digging
nameless
for it.
NPC dies horribly.
Yeah. Totally submerged under the snow, but
So-
we can audibly hear it like kicking. And
Yeah.
we can see the snow shifting. But we can't find it.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's
Tay is
probably
just
like
furiously
can't
digging, trying to
breathe or
find it, and
something.
just sort of
Probably like
suffocating.
trying to
Suffocating.
Falls
its
down
head
and
up,
Yeah,
starts
and, yeah,
sobbing.
and eventually it stops.
That's
You
how
know,
they want
the
you to
noise
swim,
stops
because they want you to stay atop of all the snow. Because you can get buried up to 2 feet, and you gotta.
I'll roll to search. I also don't have any.
Okay.
Gross. It's -2.
You see a lot of snow.
You don't find much. I think you'll find some of the stuff, and we'll just have to wait until we get the sheets back to figure out what that is. But I will definitely be taking some stuff out of the carts. It's reasonable that you find some of it scattered around, but that some of it will be lost. So, what of the Furla of your cart that you're searching for do you want to have found? It had ballista ammunition. I would put together
and
shelter,
clothes.
clothing, repair stuff.
I know it had some food because I couldn't fit all the food in the cart that it was at, so I had split up the food.
What did my card have?
I think the repair stuff I'll go for first.
Yours must have had the water.
Did it have
the-
repair stuff
the
in it,
food.
like stuff to repair wagons?
Repairs was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna look for my priorities: repairs and tents.
Okay.
Shelter.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, like, what was in the cart I hid behind a boulder?
And this is just search.
Yeah, I can't.
I mean, unless you can, unless
medicine.
narratively you feel like survival, you know. I mean, you are certainly with your. I guess that would be spending a fate point that you're a tundra dryad. It seems like in the realm of possibility, but
So survival is perception. right?
Yes, it is, but it's not search. But I mean,
Gotcha.
it's like supposed to be like notice, I guess. But yeah, it is perception, and that's why I was saying that it was weird. So I mean,
Yeah, I think in noting, like, if I'm making an argument, it's noting like how the avalanche happened and kind of the movement of everything, based on what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
And searching in that fashion.
That sounds cool. Then do survival.
Then I got a 5.
Yeah. Yeah, that does it.
All right, so I pull out the box, dust it off, full of the repair stuff.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
We definitely have the repair stuff. Sorry, I left that sheet.
It's okay.
I know medicine was somewhere too.
That was
Yeah.
probably in my card.
Probably with Jimothy.
We'll figure it out once we get them. Again, it's not. I don't think it'll be a huge deal tonight.
Okay.
Cool. Anybody else doing anything down below, searching through stuff, or just narratively want to describe what their character? What's Jimothy up to?
He would probably be dusting himself off and looking for his personal effects first, then medicine, then food, water, then finally maybe looking for the horse that's distressing winning. As he kind of like kicks the snow around a little bit,
Yeah.
kind of scoffs and he's like kind of pissed. He's hungry, he's cold, and just kind of like done with all of this bullshit. There's been one too many like crazy things happening, and I think it's like coming to a head for him.
It's almost as if somebody is throwing obstacles in front of you at every turn.
But Lhanji's down there, right?
Yes, and I feel like
evil,
Lhanji is
godlike
being
person.
perhaps unexpectedly industrious. Like
Actually, like getting
searching,
their hands
yeah,
dirty.
yeah.
Okay.
And I like to imagine that Mini-Me Tay is with her and they're like together putting their
Yes,
full weight
absolutely.
into like tipping the wagon back up. And
I think that Tay at first is like absolutely distressed by the death of these two horses, but sort of like after this one horse, the cries from underneath the snow stops, and she just sort of is
To
on
clarify,
her knees.
is this the horse that we lost as a result of the battle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both of them are.
I was like, did we really just like let like one of the last few?
No, but I think
Just
narratively
die.
it's like
Okay,
she's just
okay.
like, I can save it, I can save it, I can save it, I can save it, I can get to it, and she just like is on her knees sobbing into her hands because at this point, just the amount of struggle and death is just way more than. I mean, she's a bit in Jimothy's spot where she's very much past her limits here, but I think that she sort of, as she starts to get a hold of herself, she kind of turns and sees Lhanji like freaking single-handedly like lifting a cart or something, and like sort of takes a minute and sort of walks up, grabs a part of the cart and looks over and just helps push and just starts to like gather herself back up when she sees her hero.
Awesome.
Yeah. Her hero sort of be strong in the face of the difficulty.
What's the Lhanji ship name?
Lhanji.
Lhanji?
Orlay.
Lhanji.
I think that's a Vulcan high priestess.
Cool.
Tay Bree.
I guess that's everyone down below. So up top, you guys are maybe narratively whatever you guys are doing, but maybe some of you are standing over this. I know certainly.
I think
Ash is standing over the.
As it's cooled and it's sort of Ash sort of realizes, everyone realizes it's sort of maybe safe to get closer. I think he turns to Yurik and says, "Well, age before beauty," and just points down to the ring and the ring fall, beckoning Yurik to lead on.
Yurik leaps down next to the storm giant or the frost giant.
Yeah. I mean, this massive frost giant. Like, as now that you're like close to him, he like stinks.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know?
Of course he does.
And he's like, yeah, you're just getting like kind of how filthy he is now that you're up close to him.
Yurik yells back up something about it, like smelling like some of Jimothy's medicine down here.
I'm surprised you didn't take the opportunity.
Which also happens to be Kalima's like shit, right?
Yeah.
Just to be clear. but it's not. But you don't describe it as smelling like Kalima's shit. It smells like Jimothy's
then we
medicine.
have a big problem.
It's homebrew!
I think Ash is still sort of reeling on the magic energy, so instead of going down regularly, he sort of whips a wind up to like sort of float down, just because he's still sort of full, like he's just high, just absolutely high around this thing.
Yeah,
tries to whip away some of the smell with the wind. He's just showing off.
Yeah, you do,
I'm
and you look epic with your like robes flying around you.
Absolutely.
By the time you get down there, Yurik is pulling the like massive head of this thing out. I don't know if I need to make like a strength or like,
no, it's fine.
Like to get this thing like to just kind of like pull it off of the rock and shove it over.
Is it sort of like a hard stone, or is it like a gem? Is it like
crystalline?
Like crystalline, or is it more like a stone?
It is. That's a good question. I guess it maybe is kind of more like crystalline because, the sunlight like passes through it, and it like lights up like phosphorescent, that same kind of red color, right? It is a common thing that happens in this world is ring glow, which is like just in the relationship of the celestial bodies. The sun is shining through the rings and is then like everything is just a lit red, right?
So standing next to it, we'd just be bathed in this like red light.
And it's maybe still even kind of glowing, as it still kind of like has some heat, and it's just so like energized by like the amount of energy that was released in this like this striking the planet and blasting through the atmosphere and all of that.
Have any of you ever handled this ringfall before? We don't even know what could happen if we touch it.
I put my hand on it. But as I'm putting my hand on it, my whole hand just turns icy blue because I want to. I just ice up my hand to put it on it and it just sizzles.
Yeah, it does like steam. Like it's still hot, but it's cooling, right? You just get the impression that it.
Shouldn't we be handling this with gloves or something?
I yell back up. I think it's fine. It's fine. Just sort of bring my face close to it.
Yeah, but to not belabor things, after a while it gets like cool enough to where you can like touch it with your bare hand, and it just feels like a kind of like a hot pan or something that you can like touch for a second and be like, whew, you know.
I feel like it would just stay warm perpetually.
How big is it?
It is. I was imagining it as being like the size of like a large like chest.
I'm sure a large cart could pull it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like something that like I think a couple people could carry it, and it would be heavy for a couple of people to carry.
Yeah.
Right? If you made some sort of a like sling or like a what do you call like you put people on a stretcher?
Yeah.
Or a or like some sort of a kind of sled or any sort of thing like that. It would make it a lot easier to carry it, and it wouldn't be that hard for you guys to get it back down the mountain.
Is it breakable? Can we break it up into smaller pieces that we know?
Yes.
That was going to be mine.
Do we know how? Just by blunt force, or is that sort of an academics roll? Or
I think that's probably an academics roll.
All right, I'm gonna roll for that.
Yeah.
See what's that is a 3.
A lot of heat is usually what's involved in the breaking of like rainfall, right? And as this thing was coming through the atmosphere, it was like breaking apart, just like asteroids do, right? And all of that heat and this is kind of what remains of the main piece, and there's probably a bunch of like little pieces that are all kind of scattered around. Yeah, it is used to make ring steel, which is an alloy.
Yeah.
A mixture of irons and tin. Yeah, steel and this ringfall stuff to make like magical arms and armor and stuff, and it's only the master smiths with like often magic or like crazy forges that can like get it hot enough to like get it to a place where it can break apart and be like smelted or like mixed into other things.
Yeah. I turn to Yurik and I say, this is going to be a lot easier if we break this apart.
This is my first rodeo with rock. How are we gonna get this shit hot enough?
Leave that to me. But it might be best if you go back up.
You think you can get this hot enough to break this thing apart?
I know I can.
Might I provide a suggestion? Well, I've had to smelt some things from time to time out in the field during my campaign in the military. Let's combine our efforts here. I say we create some sort of oven nearby, powered by your magic. We just need something that could blow air into this area to make it hot enough for it to break apart. I can do the heavy lifting with the fan if you can provide the heat.
I can provide the heat if you can provide the fan.
All right.
I'm not sure what we'd use up here.
We basically just need like 2 hard sticks and then like something like a membrane that's like flexible, like I don't know, leather
Fabric,
or,
yeah.
or
I
fabric
should
or
use
something.
my cloak.
Mm-hmm.
Navius is.
That's basically.
I imagine Navius is walking around clutching his abdomen the whole time.
And if
Can we leave?
if we have
But
like
very
a tip of
vigilantly
like a spear,
making
we
sure
could
no
put, like,
one
a
is
hole in it, and
like
that would work.
sneaking some of
It's
this
like a
Mm-hmm.
that officially
We
belongs
also
to the
have
party.
quite a lot of giant to work with.
Fact.
As you say
yeah.
that, you hear the cracking of giant bone, and you see that the snow vine has wrenched back the arm of one of the giants and is like trying to pry it out of the socket.
Yeah, totally. It's the classic imagery of like a creature that's trying to eat something that is far too big.
Yes.
And it just can't even like
It's
drag
like
it back into the
completely wrapped
hole.
around its arm and its shoulder, and it's like trying so hard to wrench it out of the socket.
I'm sure they have
Oh, Snowvine.
I'm sure they have, like,
can always count on you.
clothing and other things that we could probably.
I sort of call up. If
Even
we
a
can
water
find
skin.
as much wood as
Yeah.
we can up here, and then we create as much air as we can, I think I can take care of the rest.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, so maybe a craft check to like make this thing that you're talking about, and it doesn't sound like it's something that's too complicated. So I would say maybe a 2.
Taylor said
You
maybe
have-
if
you-
we could
I feel
find
like you
like
have
a.
craft.
I have repair.
That's it.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Can
Sorry.
I do a search roll for maybe like a water skin? That's what Taylor was saying. Maybe
If they have a
skin,
water
if
skin,
the giants
Mm.
had like
that'd be
anything like that.
Yeah.
Like a,
Mm-hmm.
basically just like a deer,
Yeah.
moose or something out here.
Mm-hmm.
It's an entire deer. It's
Uh,
just like tied from an end.
That was a plus. I got 3 total on my search.
Yeah, I think like amongst their, I mean, sure, a water skin. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I, after getting back up out of this hole with Ash, I started searching around on their bodies, and I rip it off the giant belt or something, and I
Nice.
fling it down to you. It's like this. It's probably the size of like. Yeah, it's probably like a whole moose body or something. It's just like so. I'm thinking like a giant's
Mm-hmm.
bag. Like it's probably
It's
your
just
size
like
of your
comes
body.
tumbling down,
Gosh,
and
it's
then
huge. Yeah.
I like try to brace and it's just like, I'm just push down like a foot, and I have to spin it around to like right myself.
We may need some of that water, by the way.
This is
I have a feeling we lost it.
pretty ingenious, Yurik. I like it.
Problem.
All right, we just need a couple of sticks, and we're in business.
Yeah,
I
there's
feel like
charred
there's
pine all over the
a
place.
tree that got totally knocked down, right?
I think Yurik pushed it over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if we
It's
can
on
get
fire.
that into and just basically create a giant
Yeah.
just a giant inferno.
Yeah.
Just a giant fire.
Using the hole that is already there in the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll allow it, and I'll say that basically you guys have created an advantage, with you, basically with your role. I don't know that I don't think you need to also. I guess
I
don't
can
know.
literally explain like how to make a little oven thing out of like the ground. If you didn't want something or didn't have the ability to build up something, it's just like a chamber, the little tube, and on the other end. That's how I would fashion it. And you
Quick interruption.
blow the air in.
The poll in the chat, the unofficial chat poll of Ballista versus Trebuchet has been finished, and it was a tie.
Wow.
Wow.
Wait, hold on. What?
What exactly was
What are you guys doing over there?
What was the
There was a great debate between Ballistas and Trebuchets, which was cooler.
Oh, which is cooler?
Which is cooler, I
Okay.
think.
I
don't.
I think definitely trebuchets are cooler, man. They've
Oh,
got such
we should add
a
the
weird,
table
interesting
vote
mechanic to the way
make
that
the tie.
they
Ooh.
work.
I'm gonna throw mine in for Ballista then.
Okay, well, right now it's
course.
tied. Right now it's tied, so Josh, you're voting for Trebuchets.
Trebuchet, absolutely. I also built one for my AP Physics class.
Okay.
A model, small model.
Taylor, what's your vote?
Ballista
Ballista?
with wildfire.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Trebuchet as well.
Trebuchet.
Also,
Yes.
I just-
Yes.
it
It
is
just
the-
it looks so good when it just
It does.
slingshots.
Team
It
Trebuchet.
does
does.
look pretty dope. I'm gonna say trebuchet as well.
Okay, and I already voted for Trebuchet in the chat. but-
Wow.
So-
just,
Alright,
Yeah.
guys.
Just
Yeah.
Trebuchet
right.
wins.
Ballista fans.
Ballista fans go home.
But the thing that the party had was it
Yeah.
or
Wait,
has
there
or
was a
had
ballista.
is a
Sorry,
ballista.
sorry.
Yeah.
Trebuchet would not.
I was just making sure that we weren't saying that you guys were carrying a trebuchet with you this whole time because
Oh, no,
that would be.
No, I think it was just which one's better.
Jane, I'm sorry.
Get ganked on Team Ballista.
Maybe there will
no,
be.
I lost 2 sisters in this battle.
Oh no!
Was it worth it?
Yeah,
the
see,
stakes
the
were
cool
too
people
high.
voted for Ballista.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad
You're
that
their
I'm
new
trying to run a
sister.
compelling story here, and we're arguing
Okay,
about
that's
ballistas and.
Okay.
Sorry
Ash.
to interrupt. I just had to let
It's
the
okay.
group know what
It's
was
okay.
going on.
Ash stays.
It's okay.
Stays,
You guys can spam the S button all you
Well,
need to. It's
We
fine.
skipped the
F,
boring
F, F,
part
F.
of building the oven
Right,
while we were
right.
talking about this, and now we're working on the
the billowing,
the air.
the fires in there. Ash stays down in this.
I don't know why we're not making a Valerian steel like meteorite sword.
If you want to, I'll allow you to attempt to create another advantage by like you were talking about the way that you're crafting the oven itself, or
Yes.
using this hole to like turn it into an oven.
Yeah.
And I think it would still probably be the repair skill is the one that makes the most sense to me.
All right, yeah.
I'm wondering why. No, go ahead and do your roll. Sorry.
Okay, 2 pluses on my side.
I think a 3 is what I was looking for. That's what Daniel had. Spend a fate point for it and give the boost.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, whatever.
Boost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that +2 or +3?
It's a +2 and a +2 from the skin that is going to be used as like a bellows, right?
The I was thinking narratively, does it make sense to have like, because I'm thinking heat is I don't know what it's gonna do to it. I mean, eventually it'll start melting.
It's going to have to then get like struck.
Right. That,
struck.
I was thinking like maybe we're holding like one of the giants like swords over top of it, and when
When I
Ash
get the
gives us the
signal?
signal, we're basically like I don't know who's holding it.
Either
and,
that or your
just
your.
Meanwhile, horses are dying downstairs.
Yeah. All right. Off
But
my
we
distance.
want cool space rock swords.
Yeah. So yeah.
Keith
I
is with
think
you, but Furla is pissed.
we discussed that, and I feel like we sort of like, I'm like, I'll give the signal. Don't let the sword drop until I say. And Ash sort of puts his hands down, and he gets really, really close to it, and then just around his hands, you just start to see it. The heat, sort of starts the air starts to heat up, so it starts to ripple around the hands, so you can't really even see the hands anymore, and he starts to do like that flame tornado and start catch
Tornado.
everything in the on fire. Just
From
just-
down below, as Furla's like digging and she's like pissed off, she looks up for a
sees,
moment
like-
and sees this like whirling flame
it's just
tornado. Yeah.
Flame NATO.
What are these humans doing?
That'd be fun. All right,
Kicking reason to the curb.
I'm going to roll for the getting it to the point where we drop the sword on.
Yeah, I think
getting
this
it
is
hot
really
enough.
the like feat here is getting
Right.
it hot enough. The sword we don't have to roll for.
That was just a narrative piece. That was the-
And I think, man, this is definitely a high. I'm thinking like, I mean, just looking at the names of the things on the ladder here, a 7 is epic.
Okay.
I think epic. This is an
This is
epic
epic.
feat for
Yeah.
a single person to be heating up Ringfall enough to break it apart.
All right, I got a 4, so
Yeah, and you have
Two
two boosts, right?
that brings us to 6. Oh no!
No, that brings you
that's
to
it,
8.
two. Hell
Which
yeah.
Yeah.
beats it.
Uh huh.
You're just doing the fan and just
Yeah.
whipping up to that, and like as soon as I have like my face on this thing, and then I just hear like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
inside of it.
I love
I
it.
just shout no,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of like pull away. The sword comes down and just ding.
Yep. Yes.
Another avalanche.
Yeah. And you guys are all buried.
A big like flame elemental bursts out of it. And it's like,
Yes.
And I feel like when
Eats
he,
you
when
all?
he brings
No.
the sword down, the entire the sort of the fire volcano like crashes down with it. So
Mhm.
it sort of like comes down with the
Yes.
sword and like just hits
I
it.
love it.
Singers
Um,
your experience.
Totally, and it does. It works, right? So it breaks it apart. I will kind of leave to you guys to say how like many pieces do you want it to be broken into. I was saying that it was the size of like a large chest, which I imagine would be at least a couple hundred pounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how big of pieces do you want to break it into? If we're saying that it was 200 pounds.
Maybe like 5.
Five
Or
pieces
four-
that are probably like this big.
Yeah, 5 like small
would be
pieces or
40,
whatever.
40 pound pieces.
40
I
pound.
would-
That's pretty big.
I mean, we should
Smaller?
probably have some small ones.
40 pounds is a.
trade.
I mean, a single person can certainly carry 40
Yeah.
pounds, but they would be like lugging it, right?
Right.
It's not easy to
Or-
carry 40 pounds.
I mean, I was thinking of 50 pounds as a size of child I'm very familiar with, so I was like, backpack it, obviously.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Backpack.
Yeah,
that.
40-pound backpack is definitely a thing that you could carry in a backpack.
or
It would still be quite heavy, but it's doable.
probably you could just be like chucking them off the cliff, right?
Yeah, then we gotta go.
No, I
searching
mean
for
it's
it.
not a cliff soma. I mean it was just an incline that they were having to trek up more than anything.
Should we do more? Should we try for more pieces? Like 10 pieces? Just
He's
like-
telling us we can have it however we want. So
Okay.
for me, I'd say we can do a couple big ones to make it easy, but then I think we should have at least like a bunch of $1 bills, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we have
A bunch of
$100,
mhm.
So I'm
maybe
thinking-
get like 2 20s and then like I
Thinking
don't know, a
7,
10, like a bunch of
25s, and
And
25
5
ones.
something
Five
you can
fives.
carry in a
Five
small
fives.
bag that you could create
Yeah.
into, I don't know, maybe
Mhm.
some baubles
It's
or,
about 5
craft
pounds
into
probably,
like a maybe
right?
a bracelet
Mhm.
that might help our I don't know, our
Yeah,
That,
hell
that
yeah.
sounds fine.
I'll do that.
Do
I'll
you want
do
to do that?
27 25s.
Yeah,
and
7
then
25-pound stones and 5 5-pound.
5 5s.
How many people
Yeah.
are in our party right
So like 5-pound being like you think of the 5-pound weights. That's
Yeah.
like typically like the small,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
That's not bad actually.
Cool.
You,
No, that's
you
good.
I would imagine that would be a small piece because that's like
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I just assume
Yeah.
it's dense.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool. I just start like grabbing the smalls and start like tucking them in my cloak and sort of call and
Those
one,
navies
I
feel
sort of push away.
Watching but not saying. Here.
I'm doing I'm watching him. What is this? Notice? I don't
yeah,
have any
survival
of
is
that.
the
Yeah.
notice.
Oh
You're not, are you trying to be stealthy?
No.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
starting to like.
Then I'm
Right.
just counting.
I sort
Yeah,
of like.
same. Maybe,
I-
maybe some
Yeah.
Yurik are just
no.
like they've turned to pick up like a 25-pound one, but they're like watching,
Yeah.
counting every
Mm.
small that goes into the pocket.
Once I've sort of
definitely
dispelled the
taking
heat,
a
I'm like,
couple
call
of the
down, like,
small pieces.
Get down here,
Yeah,
pick
I've
this
been-
all up.
Mhm.
So I take a couple small pieces and then some of the big ones.
Yeah.
Cool.
So.
I imagine we could take that
25
fellow.
pounds. I could. How
and,
deep
like-
is the hole? Maybe like
The hole?
yeah, 8 to 10 feet. or
Yeah,
something like that?
15 feet deep or something.
I feel
meteorite.
like with the decent strength check, you could probably throw a
Just
25
hoist
pound
him up.
like to
Sure.
up this thing, right? Do y'all think that would be
25 's
tough?
Pretty hit. Well, maybe.
He's
Think
pretty
of
strong
I don't know.
wolf,
I'm
though.
thinking of the 25-pound bag of sugar is like the thing that I'm familiar with. Like at
Yeah.
the coffee shop when we have that. Like it's
I
a pretty.
feel like we could set up some sort of list.
Well, yeah, it's
Hand it
fine.
out,
We don't
hand
need
it
to
out.
really get
Right,
into
right,
how
right.
we're doing it. You guys
Right,
have
so we
broken
get
it.
We get it. and
But we've probably also
strap
got
it
like
on.
one strength, whereas these characters are like, yeah,
That's true.
Yeah,
epic.
that's what I was thinking.
I mean, they
Cool.
did just kill 2 giants, so
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They get it out.
a soldier carries, like an actual soldier carries at least like 200 plus pounds of equipment on them.
Yeah,
That's
including
So
armor
that's a
rating.
good point to think
Ton.
about.
That's a
Yeah,
ton
that's
of
what they
weight.
wear on their bodies.
200 pounds. I don't know about that.
No, that's a lot of equipment.
Yeah,
Seriously.
armor
For
and
who are we
weapons
talking about?
and-
Like
Me-
an
medieval
actual-
suit of like armor is like 40 pounds.
I meant like a soldier, like in Afghanistan, like today.
Oh.
That kind of stuff.
I mean, yeah, backpack maybe 40 pounds, but I don't know about 200. That seems absurd to me. But it doesn't. It really doesn't matter.
all right. So
I remember hearing that and it blew my mind.
I mean, when I went-
I imagine we're
Sorry.
trying to make our way down.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys got the stone, and I think we can kind of like fast forward to you guys, unless there's anything else that you want to do up top.
I don't think so.
Refashion the billows into a
Mm-hmm.
stretcher and make our way down.
Take this stuff down. Beaming, just over the moon.
Great.
For
Excited.
flavor, I would like to be carrying the shoulder pad to one of the giants. It's like my shield now.
Oh yeah,
For
that's
flavor.
right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
You could also tie some rope to
Did
that.
the
Rocks.
Snowvine
did it stay behind to eat, or did it decide to come with us?
Yeah, I think it stayed behind,
Rift.
but it'll catch up later.
Dude, it's gonna be like that snake that tried to eat. Like
It's
a
like
hippo.
this
It's
high
just gonna
up.
split
It's
open,
like this
dude.
far up this thing's hand. Like
Man, I saw a dog at a park recently that I'm kind of conjuring for the Snowvine that was carrying this branch that was like twice the size of it, and it was so proud. And
It was
like,
maybe
running
a
around
maybe
with
a
this-
log.
I mean, it was
More
straight
mock
up like an
description.
entire
Mhm.
branch instead of
Mhm.
a stick. It was as long as this table, and the dog was
Yeah.
like, not that big, and was just like
Mhm.
clearly
Snowvine's
like
bringing that
having a
down.
hard time handling it. So I
Like,
think
I
the
got
Snowvine
this.
is doing that.
Mm.
Is like dragging this like huge arm behind it, and it keeps getting caught on like trees and like rocks and everything. Good, of course.
Yeah, so you guys make your way back down to the others down below who have managed to get the carts, oh, thank you. The surviving carts uprighted, and have searched for like some of the things. If people would like to like search for any more, I think Yurk's cart made it out just fine. I was really only doing your cart because you had narratively described flipping it, which I think was which was super cool, but
Definitely not
this-
good for the stuff.
yeah,
I can.
Comes at a minor
I'll make a
cost.
search roll if that's okay.
yeah, for like other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else that I?
Well, so what do you want to be like kind of searching for? Is I mean, we found the like repair stuff, the like camping stuff, the like ballista.
Did we find the medicine?
Not yet, and
I
I
don't
will
think- I
allow
don't
for
think
like
that was in a ruined
two
cart.
things with like a successful roll.
Okay, cool. So I'll look for medicine and
Actually, Keith, why don't you pick one more thing? I think
Okay.
two things with. You don't need to roll again because you
Okay.
already rolled.
Okay,
But you had found the repair stuff
the
and
shelter
and the
was
shelter.
my number
okay.
2 pick. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that stuff has been found, and if you would like to, I think
I'll do,
it was
medicine.
a 4 check. I think a
medicine
DC 4.
and because I know the food was split, so I'll do medicine and then remainder of food.
Yeah.
How does a 4 sound to you?
Yep, that hits it.
Cool. Well, I stepped on something here. What
Awesome.
What is that? Accidentally finds it. That's my roast turkey. Leave that behind.
Great.
I think Furla sees the
harpy.
Snowvine
Roast harpy.
dragging this arm, and was kind of giving you guys like the stink eye for a second, and then sees this arm and was like, "What in the hells were you doing up there?"
Sees Navius maybe like kind of holding a rib as he's coming
Yeah.
back, and Kalima down to only one horn. You guys are
Unicorn?
have a couple. I mean, I know. Never tapped winded, but I imagine that Yurik now coming
very
back on the
winded.
way down is winded,
Very
coming
winded.
down again. I'm tapping it now, just narratively, to say that you're just, yeah.
I feel like Ash getting down and sort of seeing the Furla's sort of mood, but it just sort of ignoring it and be like, "You would not believe what we have. Look at what we got.
Mhm.
There were some giants. Easy, fine. Everything's fine. But look at what we have. Can't you feel it, Furla? Can't you feel it?"
Can we eat it?
I don't. No, we don't eat this. This is Ringfall. This is the most powerful thing you've ever seen in your entire life, and it's here in my hands.
Furla, you actually feel something as he's holding these stones outward. I don't know really how to describe it, but maybe it could just kind of like some sort of a like pull, like a kind of magical like tug. I'm not like compelling you as your character or anything, but like you do feel like there is something to these that calls to you maybe in some way.
Is it like a mild catnip or something? You're just like, oh my god, I don't know what it is, but I love it.
I'm so itchy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like food, shelter, all of it is irrelevant if we have this. The power is just beyond what we can.
Maybe it's I don't know. It's just
imagine.
a mysterious stirring of a feeling that you get when you're like that close to these stones.
Is there like a positive, negative sense to it, or
Positive.
Don't you see, Furla?
Well,
Okay.
it's the first thing we're losing as soon as we need to get rid of weight.
you sure we're not going to lose the giant arm?
That'll be gone. in a
Snowvine will
day.
take care of that.
Furla, don't be so grumpy. I mean, sure these might be rocks, but you know what they say, the best defense is a good offense, right? This might help you out. Toss like one towards Furla. Like sheepishly trying to like make what we did
Make light.
Yeah.
not completely a dumb idea.
You could tell Furla's a little like at a loss for words. Like my initial reaction was gonna be like, if we can't eat it and we can't drink it, then we're leaving it. But kind of swallowed those words and has been like reacting to this weird feeling, and so like takes hold of it and like nods a thanks and tucks it into a pocket, and then is basically like, well, if you're done dicking around, we should get moving.
How much supplies have you been able to acquire? Anything?
We've suffered losses, most certainly, but all the more reason to press on.
We lost the
I always love
Large
how
cart.
positive you are.
Mm-hmm.
we lost my cart. We lost Mango and Trigger.
Yeah. So how many horses does that leave you guys with? 4?
We lost. No, that's our third horse out of
This is
7.
Third horse dead. So 4. Yeah, 4 left.
We still.
Yeah. So 4 left. So the reason why I'm asking is because, you have Kalima's cart, which Kalima can pull, obviously, but then you have the large wagon, which really requires 4 horses to pull, right? The like small wagon requires 2 horses to pull, but I'm not totally sure if you guys can make that work anymore, or if you're gonna just have to be ditching a wagon here.
Can we get away with
Just the large.
3 horses and 1?
I don't think so. I think just 1 on the 2-person cart is just too much of a. That's you're at like 50%. That seems like too much.
Yeah.
Like 3 out of 4 on the large cart, I was saying is reasonable, but like maybe like a consequence or something if you were trying to do something. Yeah. But also keep in mind that you guys also need like considerably less kind of food now and stuff, and maybe shelter.
We could hunt for like an elk or like some kind of deer or something and go get those in the wagon.
I think that breaks our recruitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's your call.
I think we
You know, it does, but
doing here?
I would maybe allow it if you guys
Ooh,
wanted to do that. I don't know.
Snow
can
Run.
Babs
I
do
don't know how
it?
I feel about it.
He has a +3 handle animal.
Yeah.
You gotta find it first.
But yeah,
And
it
this
has to. It would,
avalanche.
yeah, it would have to be found and.
We're gonna rig up a reindeer.
I think Babs sort of speaks up.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I just don't know. Do we feel like you guys really need?
I feel like probably not.
We don't know.
Also, you'll have an extra horse, and that horse can carry some stuff. I think
Yeah.
a single
Right,
horse by
right.
itself
Yeah,
has a limit
sure,
of
we can
5
pack
or
it
something
down.
like that.
We'll just put
So
all-
we take everything in the large wagon.
we take the large
And I would
wagon,
also
we
allow you guys
pack
to
up
break
the-
down the like other wagon if you wanted for like more supplies, like repair supplies or something, and extra wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
Scuttle it if you wanted to do that.
We should do
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
We can.
And we don't need to roll for that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Though
we
our,
can-
our repairman is dead, or is
I mean,
our
he-
handyman is handless.
Yeah.
I can break stuff.
Alexi
Got our
has
strong man over there.
Alexi has
Yeah.
repair, and really, there's just not like a like time limit or whatever.
Yeah.
How much do you think one horse can carry? I think the
I think it was
wagons can do
5.
like. Can it do 5? So we'll do. We've got four horses total.
Yeah.
So we'll do 3 horses on the large wagon. We'll fill it up with whatever supplies it can hold. I think it can hold like 45 or something like that.
I think that's right,
5
too.
on the horse,
Mhm.
Kalima's wagon, and then
Yeah.
we'll take off.
Mhm.
and we can divide up the stuff when I get my paper.
I'm guessing that we'll have to be. Some of us will have to be walking at that point, or maybe all of us. If
Yeah.
we just load it all the way up with supplies.
Yeah, but in
then-
general, like a wagon can only move as fast as a person is like
Right.
walking. I mean,
Yeah.
the horses are. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're walking pace, and I think you've been doing that oftentimes. Like in the
Yeah.
chases, you guys have all like piled onto the stuff, but
Right.
otherwise,
Just
because the
walking.
wagons have been so loaded, you guys have been walking alongside of them a lot of the time.
Does anyone else want boost?
I would love some.
Some good, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
That would be excellent.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So anything else that
Take
we
it.
need to do here? I feel like I've covered everything.
I'm good.
Sounds good.
I'm happy.
Yeah, we can,
Ash is ready to go.
Cool.
I think Furla has a congratulatory bonding moment with the snow vine. Like, makes it like stop paying attention to the arm for a second, and then is like, "You did well. No one was hurt, or no one died, and you didn't eat anyone." And it's like,
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
weird clacking.
Ash also
Well-
pulls out a slightly larger than the smallest
I was supposed to
probably
eat
rock,
this.
disgusted by
and gives
the
it,
display
hands
of
it to
affection.
Tay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just excited, just like
Yeah.
talking her ear off, and like more excited than she's ever seen him, basically in the last 10 years. Just sort of
Yeah.
like talking her ear off, and like,
Well, she certainly is excited holding
Yeah.
it because it's an
I think
incredible sum
it's
of
like helping her feel
money and
rejuvenated.
yeah. And she's an enchantress, right? So she probably feels that kind of magical, like
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like Ash, even more than like not even more, but like alongside just like the power of the magic and everything, it's just something that like is beyond even what his parents could have done with their, prestigious
Yep.
lifetime, and they're just like being there at Ringfall and
Mhm.
gatherings and breaking it open single-handedly and all that kind of stuff. I think he's sort of feeling
Yeah.
accomplished in a
Being the
way.
first person like to a like Ringfall event is like not a thing that a whole lot of people do, right?
And he's feeling like he's gonna be able to like ride high with this back to the go
Totally.
back to his life,
Literally is
sort of
if you ask me.
on top for the first time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we did anyone mark down kind of what stuff that we had saved there just to make sure that we have it tracked, or do you mind doing that, Daniel?
I don't mind.
It was-
Quartermaster.
It was repair stuff, repair supplies, and then write extra repair supplies as well, because you broke down the wagon.
Medicine,
Medicine,
I found that
shelter.
extra food, and shelter.
So not the ballista and the ammunition.
No. After all that talk of trebuchets and whatnot.
Darn.
It is a bit of a tragedy though. It was never fired.
It was
fired it
fired to
like
create an
twice or
advantage.
something.
Oh.
I fired it to create to a net on that rock.
Honestly, many of
They
the many of
flew
the
in the avalanche.
That was the netted rock.
Mhm.
Yes.
I messed up. I was like, I don't know what made this netted rock.
That was me
or
firing.
how it makes any
We
sense.
have ballistas that were nets, and I was like, I don't know if this will work or not. But
You said many of the things. What was it?
I'm sorry, I lost where I was going with it. It's okay. Yeah, you guys travel on now. You're moving a little slower because you only have the 3 horses on that cart. But you make your way away from the avalanche into a place that seems like more decent for camping. And we don't really need to spend time in the tedium of the camping. I mean, I don't know. Did we say that we got food back? I feel like you guys probably had food enough to travel.
One wagon was full of food. I think that was mine.
Okay.
So
you had all the food.
Minus a little bit, and that's what the extra that I found.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you've got all of your food at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we were stocked full because the harpies the thing that whenever you went out, you brought back.
And right now, in terms of like the number of mouths that you guys have to feed, you have what, 14? Because you've got 5 PCs, 5 main NPCs. Oh, so 15. 1 supporting and 4 horses.
I think we should switch to the roster real quick.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should put the ballista on the lost.
Mm-hmm.
We got 5 PCs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
on the Wendogoed
NPCs
section.
and 4 horses. So that's 15.
Yeah, we should be at 15 mouths right now. Yeah.
Oh God, that
So
ballista was such a
that's
resource.
another like step less in the amount of food that you're using up.
Correct. So instead of 4, we're using 3.
That,
per
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to travel for 4 days before like anything substantial happens. So if we want to do any sort of cooking or survival roles during that time, we can to gather food. But it sounds like you guys are fairly stocked up on food, and you can always
What about water?
you can always like use.
I don't have my cooking dice.
Oh man.
Oh no! No cooking dice! Oh no! We can always retroactively roll the cooking
I'll
dice.
drive home real quick.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everyone stay.
Fine, yeah.
And I was about to hit the cooking dice hype button.
Good thing you didn't.
Elk mutton served
I didn't make
with
that button.
How
pearl onions.
How hard is this?
With a thyme garnish.
Yeah, where did I have you before at a 4?
You were the cooking.
Do you need a random table? We could up a random table generator for food.
Killing me with this. Elk mutton with sage pepper jam.
Man. I just
pearl onions.
I mean, at least a 4, but I'm considering whether it should be a 5.
Okay.
But that just seems kind of crazy to me.
That would be a superb task.
I know.
Especially since we
You are
have sort of a nice campy like.
Yeah,
we're not
you guys
sort of,
still
like, on
you
the
guys
run
have
or
your
on the side of
stuff.
the mountain or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I mean you are. Yeah. That you got to a better spot to camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I'll just say it's still just the 4.
Okay.
I know it's not. Yeah.
Well,
It's just challenging. You guys are alright. It's super cold more than anything. I don't know, maybe a 3. I said you guys had found a decent place, so that seems reasonable.
3.
Sorry, I'm waffling on
That's
that.
okay. All right. My first roll was a 3.
Okay, cool.
Second roll was a 4. No, sorry, 5. Third roll is a 6.
Yeah.
Style.
Seeds of style.
So that will give
Your normal succeeding reduces it by 1. Is that
Yeah.
correct? Mm-hmm.
This provides a boost or medicine.
Yeah.
So we'll say we'll put a like I guess
A boost out there.
yeah. A boost
But
out
we
there
just don't know what the boost is because we don't have the dice, the food dice.
Oh, I'm so mad about it.
Sorry, I don't mean to rub it in.
And a 2. So that one will not reduce it.
Okay.
But I'll say the boost is I'd say like a well no I'll say it like cures a mild like is that what it was doing, like curing a mild, like using it in medicine during a mild
Mhm.
consequence or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say we'll throw that out there for anybody. I made a special snow cream dessert.
I have
And,
a twisted ankle as a mild consequence.
Ooh, with a goat cheese topping.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, it's cream
And-
goat cheese and snow.
I'll allow
And
it.
elderberries.
Cool.
Not that you're like using the food
But it
as
just
a thing in that in
sort of-
any way, but it's just
And
really
over
juniper
time.
mead.
man,
Well, I
a
was gonna
good
say,
meal
spring
I
onions.
think can go in
Juniper.
incredible ways, especially if you guys have gone through all this harrowing stuff that you have. Like maybe it's not healing your twisted ankle, but it's just making you feel better in general.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Love it. Love it.
I think
Thank you.
Furla is working on Navius had injuries, right? Yeah, the broken ribs. Yeah,
Crack,
Um,
crack.
cracked ribs. Yeah, Furla is gonna use
I feel like that
natural
means
healer.
Everything is uncomfortable.
Mm.
sitting
I'm gonna.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna.
I can use survival.
I'm gonna
Like,
help out with that.
Heavy breathing
Okay.
and
With
coughing
academics,
and
or does it have to be the same thing?
bruise.
No,
Even like
I don't think so.
breathing.
But I think you can
Like a bruised
give me a
bone
plus
hurts.
one
Yeah, I'll give a +1 to this with academics.
because mine's pretty high. I got a 4
Yeah,
on this. So.
maybe it's definitely just to sit in. the
Yes.
Oh, I don't need to roll for that.
Mm.
I'll give a +1.
Crit.
Whoa,
On my healing check here.
Dang diddly do.
awesome.
Glad that was used.
Wow.
Was used well.
Got a major boost from that ring fall, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
Feeling
you,
it now?
Feel it in your. You feel it respond.
Yeah.
Your human heart is
Intriguing.
like a flutter.
It seems like that should create a boost or something, doesn't it?
I think Furla is really intrigued by this. I went for roleplay direction. Sorry.
Go
But,
for it.
I think Furla is really intrigued by like human ribs and whatnot, and is like taking good care of Navius and like feeling the ribs, and then has like a bit of a tingle in her human heart.
Oh, yes.
And there's just a weird moment where Navius is like made uncomfortable by
Yeah.
like an excessive
Is there a
amount
ship
of
between
like
Navius
ship?
and Furla coming about?
That is the best ship.
Whoa!
For Labius.
There's like a moment where there's like a hand on like a peck muscle
Nerla.
that like lingers for a little bit too long.
For Labius or Nerla. Gross.
Ooh, how does Navius
Nasty's in,
respond?
just sets everyone on
My
fire.
ribs are down here.
You mean?
I feel like
Sorry.
in actuality for like the boost, it should be like there was like a joint that Navius had arthritis on for years, and all of a sudden it's like got popped back into place.
No, the boost is still got it.
Maybe it's sort of like trotting a little bit.
Yeah.
He might shut her down, but in his head, that's what he thinks.
Or is that plant thing into me?
Flavius,
Flavius.
Chili's new
Flavius.
$10 human ribs. Oh my god.
Flavius sounds like someone on like a cooking channel from the 90s.
Flavius was like a general.
Jeez, that's so
during the
good.
Ptolemaic
Was that a mild or a moderate?
It was moderate.
Moderate.
Mhm.
Okay. So you rename it as like
Mended ribs. or
Mended
something?
ribs?
Yeah.
and then I'll double check.
And
how
then
long
after
it
a
takes.
period of time,
This is the thing we always have to look up, but
Yeah.
I think it'll be like
it's a certain
several sessions or something.
milestone. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and do that for now. I have something that will help with that here in a second.
I think
Still got it.
Yurik probably yells for Jimothy to come over.
Yes, Milksmith, and how can I be of service to you?
Look at Kalima's horn.
Oh my word! What? There appears to be something missing. Did she get a haircut? Oh, it looks so wonderful. Thank you for showing me this, good sir.
Do you want to eat tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
Then help me.
Oh, it's actually on the cheat sheet for the future.
Oh, nice.
Future reference, but it's a moderate takes a whole session.
Okay.
A mild
just-
takes a scene.
But does it still require the heal check?
It requires the heal check, and then the recovery time is a whole session, and then you're gonna shift it up to a mild.
Mhm.
Sweet.
Listen, I can tell she's in pain. She will never show it, but I need you to help me. If you can.
Okay, I get it. The loss of a horn on a goat would throw the balance off on the neck, which would over time probably cause some arthritic, some sort of discomfort in her later years, which of course she is already, quite old. That said, still surprised. I suppose I could.
Yeah, exactly. You look over her and
I suppose I could fashion some
Bores
sort
into
of
you.
iron prosthetic that would perhaps restore the balance between the other horn and
Rainfall prosthetic.
shit.
Oh, epic rainfall.
Rainfall horn.
Transforms into a dragon.
Well,
The first goat dragon.
Lima's accepted as
I'm sure we won't be able to get a furnace warm enough to fashion it purely, but I'm sure that some of these smaller fragments, of course, we could adorn to perhaps make Lima feel a little bit less embarrassed about
What are we gonna do?
her affliction, if you will. So I suppose I will do my best.
Less embarrassed.
I'm gonna help with this.
Make sure the goat isn't embarrassed. Love it.
Because if we're like fashioning, what's that?
So what? Okay, I'm assuming I always heal, so I use academics. I chose the prosthetic as like flavor. Does that still count as academics?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
for applying it, and I think if
So-
you want to help by
I'll
doing
plus one.
some part of that.
some heating and some.
I just wanted to make sure
fashioning.
because I'm like I don't know. I also haven't used resources either, but all right. So I got a 5.
Nice.
Cool.
Does that work?
Plus 1.
Yeah.
6.
6.
Mhm.
Cool.
6.
Sweet.
Nice.
It was a moderate, which was a 4.
Yeah.
So.
Sweet.
So I have fashioned this I guess wrought iron, like black metallic, like ornate.
Yeah, it's maybe
Like
some
thing.
sort of a thing that you guys had with you. I'm seeing it as being maybe
Yeah,
like
not-
a climbing piton or something that
Yeah.
you figured out a way to like to fashion
Yeah,
it onto the
I feel
stub
like
of the
maybe I
horn.
just put my hands around it and sort of melted it down around.
Heated
the
it
stub
up
of the
enough.
horn, and then like
Yeah.
kind of flash,
Mhm.
like flash freeze it so that like she can't feel it
This is
anymore.
epic.
You know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now she's got
She
this
looks
frickin' metal.
freaking terrifying.
She's
Like,
just got this iron spike
Provoke
coming out her
up
head.
to a plus
So
5.
Provoke is a plus 5.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So this will last for a whole session, and then next week it will go away.
Yeah, but you get to rename the injury
From broken horn to
to like mended horn or something.
Iron
Or
horn.
cross
Yeah.
iron
Horn.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Iron tusk meet iron horn.
Unicorn was so good though.
Mhm. It's okay.
And that seems like a weird distinction to be like, I'm renaming the injury, but it actually, like, narratively wise, is different for being invoked against you, right? You're like, my ribs are on the mend, is like less often can be invoked against you than like being like broken ribs.
I think
So
like
it's-
if iron horn is like invoked, it's like it starts to, like
But now
she goes for a headbutt, it starts to come off or
Yeah, it
something like
falls
that.
off.
Like she's not as used to it.
Yeah, as opposed to being like broken horn.
No
could
horn,
be.
yeah.
Is
could
it
be
still a
invoked more
moderate
often.
consequence?
Yeah.
But it's just
But it's
changed
renamed.
right now.
Mhm.
And then after the session it gets erased.
Mhm.
Okay.
After the
It
session,
just
it'll
moves
shift
to
goes
up.
to mild.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
As Klima gets more used to it.
Yep.
Are there any
now
other
you're a
people
magical bicorn.
willing to do checks of healing?
Well, didn't you heal yourself with your food?
Oh, I thought you used that.
Oh, was it only one? I thought it was sort of.
No,
was
yeah,
one.
it's just one. One.
Oh,
heal. Sorry. No. I mean, we all got to get healed somehow.
yeah.
I like that you enjoy. My
Can
food.
someone who has empathy heal my trauma?
Oh.
I have empathy.
Ooh, who's gonna have the conversation with Furla?
Yeah, or do you have empathy as well?
I do.
What's yours?
+2.
You go
What
for
is
it.
your trauma?
Mine's only a 1.
I'd
I
also.
am
if I
haunted
was-
by the Wendigos.
Oh.
The Wendigo howl got through to me.
I also wouldn't mind that role played out. If anyone
Yeah,
I
think
sounds like a fun role play.
more so than the howl, what it is that stuck with you is that vision of the White Nell Grove burning.
Yeah.
You cannot shake that feeling.
Oh, from your
And you
nightmare.
feel like you're getting close to it, the grove, but you're afraid of what you might find.
Yeah.
No, kitty. That cannot happen.
No. Not possible.
You're way too powerful. It'll just destroy us all.
The snow vine,
The
a
snow
Wendigo,
vine
maybe.
No Wendigo.
It already is.
Wind Dryad.
Um,
For a Wendigo.
yeah, I think Furla comes to Lhanji,
That's a good point if a dog can.
That's a very
Right?
good point.
and mostly asks if Navius is single. No, just kidding.
Don't worry, I was ready for Lhanji to be like, you're getting rather close to Navius. Like, let's stage this immediately after that incident.
Yeah,
Furla's
to
coming out
to
of the
cut it
tent.
down.
Lhanji's just Willy Wonkaing.
No, I think Furla is like.
He's taken you now.
Hmm?
He's taken you now.
What are you talking about?
Navius. I'm just teasing Furla. How are you?
What do you mean about Navius?
What, are you gonna be single with a bow in the sky?
I was just
Mind about
I was
Navius.
just doing my job, patching his broken ribs.
I'm very grateful for everything you've done, Furla.
Mostly, I'm just mad that he went up there with those fools after that rock.
That was a once in a many lifetime opportunity.
Just seemed like greed drove them there.
Greed, perhaps, in some cases. But you couldn't say that for Lexi. And I don't see greed quite in young Ash's reaction. It's almost a spiritual transcendence for him. Imagine being so close to the source of your power, your essence as a caster.
I can imagine that. Can I share something from my heart?
Always. the shark. What was Jimothy's like blood in the water?
Yes.
100% Lhanji every day.
Secret hype. Everyone.
Come, let's go somewhere.
Yeah. Someone private.
Private.
We step out into the howling winds of,
Yeah.
of the woods.
Do we need to leave, or are you guys...
No.
Okay.
It seems everyone has their own ulterior motives on this journey besides just reaching the destination. And I have my own as well. There have been myths and legends told by the people in this land of the White Nell Grove, which is a mythical sanctuary of trees that I feel might have been where I came from. And I wish to reach there and plant a very important seed there that must be grown. But I saw a vision when the Wendigo were haunting us of the White Nell Grove burning. And I just had to ask if you had seen visions too, or was this... Because occasionally I do see the truth in the wood of things that should not be seen, but I don't know if this is truth or if I was being manipulated, and I fear for the worst.
I'm going to go ahead and make my empathy roll. Oh no! No! That's a 0.
Oh, reroll, reroll,
yeah.
reroll,
Yeah.
reroll.
But
What is it?
should I? So I got a minus
-2. Yeah, that's like...
That
I think if it's a
Is
minus
it
2,
not-
yeah, if it's a minus 3, it's definitely worth it. If it's a
Yeah,
minus
this
2,
is-
it's like on the cusp, right?
Sketchy.
And
This is a mild consequence, so it's only
So
a
it-
2.
So you're to 0 now,
Mhm.
so it would do it if you
Oh.
spend a fate point.
Yeah, don't reroll.
Can I spend a fate point for her with my secret aspect?
Oh, I'm all over it.
Okay, if you insist.
I've got plenty of cash to throw
Oh,
around.
with your secret aspect.
That's kind of where I was going.
Secret hype.
Yeah.
Secret hype. Like the popcorn and the present combination.
Yeah. So secret aspect invoked, which I've already revealed.
Read it again for the audience
yes,
one more time.
Lhanji is a mother on a mission to save her dying child.
What?
You were there when we revealed this.
Well, my secret aspect is the keeper of the sacred seed.
I thought it was that you were a blight of the land.
That's my trouble, a curse of the land.
Easy.
My secret is on the blight of the land.
I am the villain.
You just said, oh. You were raised in these parts, weren't you?
Yes, by humans.
By humans with small minds, I doubt it not. Based
Well,
on our initial
You've encountered some of them.
reception.
The
Yes.
Eksha, yeah.
Yeah, I was raised among them, but never really quite fit in. And the one who raised me, the witch, whose name I'm forgetting.
Oh, it's a good name. I remember it coming out.
Yeah,
Shit.
white goose.
To be Canute?
White goose.
Where is To Be Canute from?
Canute.
earlier
That
than-
actually might be right.
To be Canute.
Canute was
Canute
maybe.
was right. I added it.
Yeah.
Canute.
Canute.
Yeah, and it meant like white goose, I think, is what it meant. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the translation.
To be.
Canute was very understanding, and perhaps her only flaw in raising me was that she kept me too sheltered from them. I think out of fear of what they would do to me.
I've generally found that, and I wonder if any of your experiences in such a harsh climate would reinforce this notion that it's more worthwhile to put energy on the things you know. I could spend a lifetime worrying about horrors I could scarcely imagine. Already, so far, we've encountered many that are much out of the realm of my expertise.
Mm-hmm.
But we're stronger together, don't you think, Furlong?
Of course.
And if harm has fallen to the grove, I promise you the team we've assembled will help you on whatever next steps are necessary. But until then, much better to focus on getting there, don't you think?
I think that is great wisdom.
Well, you should ask Navius about some of his stories. I doubt not that you've noticed some of the scars.
Blushing. Could I be so bold as to ask for a hug from you, Lhanji?
Oh, darling, come to my arms at once.
Clutching tight. It lasts for like.
Might I be so bold?
Might I be
Ask
so
for a hug.
bold? Well, Furla's a teenager at heart.
Teenage
And
Dryad.
I think
That's an
heart beneath
awesome
the bark.
show.
Yeah, I think clutches Lhanji for like
That could be.
a few moments too long.
No.
To like where it gets to be a little bit awkward.
Oh no,
I
Lhanji
thi-
is all about surrogate child.
Maybe instead of human heart beneath the bark, it's teenager heart beneath the bark.
Teenage heart.
Yes.
Teenage heart.
I'm gonna change
Teenage
that.
heart.
Teenage heart beneath the bark.
With GM permission. Well,
Yeah.
it is soft human heart, so I'm gonna change it
Oh,
to
okay.
soft teenage heart.
There you go.
Alright.
Cool. I love it.
Cool.
Awesome. Anybody else have anything else that they want to do in the travel, or else kind of we'll be moving to the next scene? I think probably it's a perfect time to take a break if we're cool with that, and then we'll kind of hit the next scene and some cool stuff will be happening.
Cool.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
I know it's a long break, but can we do 15 minutes? Because I have been starving you guys from leveling up this entire time. This is the longest Fate game that I've ever been a part of, let alone GM'd.
Yeah.
So I have not had you guys leveling up this entire time, and you should have. So
Gotcha.
I've taken the quick notes for that, and I think we can do even just a quick version of it, and then if you
Sure.
want to tweak things later, you can.
Yeah.
And we can do that over the 15-minute break, if that's okay.
Sweet.
And then we'll be ready to hit this next scene that is built out in front of us, which might give some sort of a clue as to
What is that there?
Uh-huh.
All I see is a 18 with a bird placed upon it.
Indeed.
Wow.
All right. Well, catch us. Come back after the break. 15 minutes.
Catch you guys in 15.
Can you do? Just take it.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome back.
We can talk about
Hannah
it.
will be with us shortly.
We lost her. She was a casualty.
Yeah.
We passed it along.
Snowvine.
What can you do?
What do you expect? But we did get our characters leveled up during the break, which is why we took a little longer. So we got some fresh skills. We got mostly some upgraded skills.
Oh yeah. Better watch
it's
out,
main-
frost
main-
giants.
our-
Timothy's coming for you.
Our expedition traveled for 4 days, and on the 22nd.
Wait. Hold on. We need some map hype right now.
Oh,
Map.
just
Yes, please.
whenever we get another lull, I forgot my character has a moderate consequence that could definitely use some empathy.
We've moved a little bit, huh?
Definitely,
What's the motto?
yeah.
Oh,
From Corbin's
Grief
Cavern.
stricken
Oh yeah.
over his
Yeah, you
fucking
Wait,
guys
we
are-
need horse trotting sounds. Just tell me when to stop, Josh.
Keep going up to like the lettering of the Forlorn Waste at least. Yep. Keep going. That's it. Except it should be the yodeling song like the old Price is Right game, right?
Okay, and I think I also heard like a bit of a calendar
Yes.
hype
That's
as well.
right. That's right. It is the 22nd sickle of Harvest's Will.
Harvest Swill.
There
Okay.
it is.
There we go.
22nd.
So that's like.
Yeah, they're in 10 days, so just after the
A 10-day.
second 10-day.
Somebody said 10 days last week, and I was like, a 10 day!
A 10-day. Yeah, a 10-day from now.
10-day a lot.
Awesome. And you guys come to the crest of a strange geographical feature here on this otherwise flat tundra. It is a crater, a pretty large crater. I don't know, maybe a half a mile across. Probably not that far. It's not huge, but within it, you guys see all of these trees growing when you haven't seen trees for a week of travel, maybe. And Furla, yes, this appears perhaps to be the grove that you sought, and the trees are not burning at the moment.
For now.
Ash sets them on fire.
Oops.
I reassure you, we will do everything we need.
I think
It's because someone let him line his pockets with Minecraft redstone.
Dang it.
I think Furla steps out in front of the group for a moment and like peers out with longing, and then goes back and finds Lhanji, and is like, "We found it. It's here, and it's not
make haste.
Yeah, so you guys make your way down into this crater, the grove, and a couple of things that like strike you at first is that at the center of it there is a kind of like raised up mound somewhat. Otherwise it's mostly kind of flat, and there are these jagged like pieces of rock that seem to be kind of jetting up from the ground more so than anything. So it has a little bit of kind of a blasted look to it, right? And at the center there's this larger, which is kind of what I've got depicted here. But the trees that are here are, I think, unlike any that you've ever seen before.
Oh, here it is. The importance of the tree I knocked down.
Actually, yes. These trees are all growing in like pairs, right? They're all growing somewhat close to another tree of their kind. But
Except for these I knocked
The
down.
genius.
except for those two that got knocked down earlier. So see, it actually was significant.
There it is, Taylor.
The genius of Josh's terrain at work.
Ruining my experience.
Yeah, these trees grow
They mate for life.
together like this. And in the fable of the White Knell Grove, Keith, that you know,
That's really
and is now being confirmed to you, is that the trees that grow in the White Knell Grove are said to be these like kind of match the description, that they are like referred to as, what did I have that name written down? Sorry. Where's it at? Okay,
I just
so
want to say that's a really cool idea.
thank you. I'm not done yet. So these are lovers' larches.
Yeah, that's
Right?
there it is.
So a larch is a. I actually looked this up today. I didn't know that there is such a thing as a deciduous conifer. Trees that are pine trees, but that do lose their pines.
Lose their needles. Yeah,
They lose their
some up in
needles, right?
Wisconsin.
Yeah. So this is a deciduous conifer, and they grow in these pairs because in the winter, or in the fall, they are turning now, right? So they're turning into this yellow instead of these green trees that you see here. These are like kind of
Where are the
golden.
yellow tree miniatures, Josh?
Well, they're on order.
I would like an aspen forest at some point. That'd be pretty baller.
Yeah, totally, wouldn't it? So they are losing their needles, and they are already beginning to do a kind of strange process where the branches of these trees are actually starting to wrap together. And the fable of the lover's larch is that it actually came from a pair of lovers who had like run off away from their families because it was a star-crossed love, and they got lost out in the wilderness, and they like would have froze to death, but they embraced each other in the cold, and in the morning when the sun crested, they were no longer there, and instead there were these two trees that were intertwined. So these are lovers' larches, and this whole place, you feel something that you've never felt before. Furla has never felt. You feel like you are home.
What if
You touch the trees, and they are like of the same type of bark as you are, and the same as the snow vine. And you see the pine cones that are up in them, and all like kind of wrapped with a little vine type thing, waiting to fall. And yeah, you know,
Mine is like
you know that you have arrived at
touching them.
your home.
I think while embracing one of these trees, Furla like shifts their feet in the ground so that they're like some 4 inches into the soil, and just like holds on tight for like a strangely long amount of time, and I think is also weirdly like crying too.
I actually like Alexi walks up like nearby Furla and just kind of like stands and just silently isn't enjoying like the experience and letting you have your moment, and then like after like a while. It's just like not really saying to you directly, just saying, "It's good to find family, isn't it?" Just like looking up at like all the yellowing leaves, just trying to find some semblance of solace in what has been a pretty much depressing adventure.
Until this journey, I have not known anything like real family. And while I consider you all a part of my family, it is truly magical to feel something that is the same as me.
I understand.
What day is the planting day of the seed?
It is the 25th.
Ooh.
So it is still a couple days yet.
3 days?
Mm-hmm.
We have to stay here for 3 days.
Excuse me.
Why?
Of course.
This seems like
whatever you need.
I have to stay here for 3 days. You can all leave and go ahead if you must, but
I'm sure all of us could agree we'd be quite lost within hours.
We won't leave you behind.
I agree. I'd just like some explanation.
family comes in all shapes and sizes, as you can see. Perhaps we should let Furla have her time to reconnect with her roots.
All I'm saying is that we're not too far from the Dragon Pass. Is that correct? This can't possibly be a very safe location as these dragons pass by. Out here in this wide open space.
I would agree. Tactically, this is probably the worst place we could be. We should be finding shelter.
To be fair, anywhere near the dragon roost is dangerous. So.
Well said.
Well, in an open field, I think it would be the worst.
well,
With limited resources, we really should not be wasting time. We're so close.
I think under a grove of trees perhaps would be a good spot.
Are you not searching for the dragons? We really should not. We've lost quite a lot of supplies. Why would we waste time?
Timothy, it's
here?
not in question. We're staying until Furla's task is completed.
I think that's fine. But what should we do with the Dragon's Pass? Is there a plan?
Absolutely. Of course, we should hide ourselves as well as we can, Yurik. I think that's the only sensible thing to do.
If the dragons pass, we will listen to me, and I will get us through it.
Just as we have listened to Furla to navigate through terrain that we otherwise could not survive, I am more than happy to defer to your expertise.
Well, that's fine with me.
if
As
the
long
dragons,
as you can tell us a plan before they get here, that would be great.
I'm afraid we won't have much more.
Right. So talking about it now might be better than they're here.
We could take the time to sharpen our blades and formulate our plan now. I say you set up camp and...
You could create an advantage by like spilling out some dragon lore to them right now.
Cut to Ash drawing in the dirt with a
Dragons,
stick.
you
go here. Dragons are the X's, we're the O's.
I imagine he's got like...
Yeah, or it
the
doesn't
good looks
necessarily
of a
have to
young
be like
guy
that,
who's-
like crazy of a plan, but just something that then if something happens, you guys.
All right.
Have-
Crash
you
course
can-
in dragon defense.
All right.
Mhm.
The first
How to
thing.
train your dragon.
The first thing we're going to need to do, Jimothy and Yurik and Lhanji. We need to take our coinage and move it far away from us. Dragons, they'll be able to smell us from miles away by our gold. First thing we need to do,
of course they will.
everyone needs to get rid of their gold, and I mean all of their gold.
It's hard staring
Of course, I will dump my gold somewhere safe. Perhaps we should bury it.
Jimothy,
Yes.
I can't stress enough that if we are to be safe in these parts, with dragons about, every part of our gold, even if it's inside of our mouth, we need to take it as far away from us as possible. Do you
I
understand,
can help
Jimothy?
you pull that shit out of there.
Oh, this is brass, of course. You know, it's Surely it's a bit reactive at times, but I have a polish for that. Why would I have a polish if it was made of gold after all? Gold is not a reactive material. But of course I don't expect you folks to understand that, but this is not gold, that's just what I'm trying to tell you.
I turn to Lhanji and say, we have been through a lot to this point, and we have all relied upon each other. Right now, everyone just has to do what I say.
Are we really going to sit here and listen to some punk who's a reject from his...
What's this again? Sorry.
Depp and Whirl.
Depp and Whirl?
As Timothy makes a sweeping gesture, turning to appeal to Lhanji, he hits Navius, who has come to stand intimidatingly behind him, hand on sword.
If Timothy is unwilling to part with his gold, risking everyone's safety, I suggest that we leave him with the rest of our gold.
Might I suggest there's probably going to be a strategical advantage to knocking over trees, as well as holding onto some gold as some sort of bait. Now, I'm not suggesting that I should be the bait, but perhaps I should hold on to this brass tooth, as it were, to distract a dragon. It might save someone someday, after all. And you know what, why not? By that same logic, perhaps we should hold on to a small... I don't know, satchel of gold, perhaps about the size. We'll use it as a distraction.
Fall in line, Christopherson.
I am in line.
You think they can smell gold?
I know
never
they
heard this
can.
before. Incredible. I just wonder if they can smell gold. Can they smell rocks full of magic?
Yes, indeed, let's be honest with you. The real problem
no.
is probably going...
No.
I'd like to roll deceive.
I need to say really quick to the audience, because they may have never actually heard this. The only reason why we know Jimothy has a gold tooth is because of Taylor's dice. One of which is
such
gold.
a delicious little.
It is the best.
It's such a delicious little piece.
Mm-hmm.
One of which is gold, and the explanation is that it's Jimothy's
For
gold
Jimothy's
tooth.
gold too.
It was just like a funny thing at first, and then I was like, let's
Because
make
you
it
had
part
dropped
of
one of the white dice,
Yeah.
right?
It's probably...
And couldn't
I
find
don't
it, and so
know.
you used that one, and
The
that was your
best
excuse.
thing that's ever existed.
It's really fun. It's just a
It is
fun little
perfect.
flavor. And it makes sense.
And then
I
you get to
imagine-
experience the GM moment of having your own fluff like turned against you.
No,
Like,
that's
oh
the
no,
best
you guys
part.
gotta pull my tooth out now? Come
That's the
on.
best part. I won't be satisfied unless it's a minor consequence. It's the best though.
Yes.
I turn to Lhanji again, and I implore. I say, Lady Bree, you have brought me along for this purpose, and I intend not to have my knowledge questioned by anyone. I intend that we follow my directions, or we all die.
I am absolutely on the same page as you. And I'm sure Lhanji pulls out one of the small amounts of stone and holds it in Jimothy's direction. I'm sure Jimothy is
Good.
not suggesting he would dissent against your clear academic prowess.
I certainly hope not.
Let's be honest with you here. Bribes absolutely work on me.
Oh, that's why I brought you along.
Let
However,
me be clear. Bribes
However.
will work.
Meanwhile, in the background, Furla is like running from one tree to the next and just holding them.
might I have a word with you, Miss Reed, in private.
Private convo.
Private.
Fine.
Nice. Oh, do we have like
Are we
need
going
like
fully
private
private?
hype?
Oh yeah, we need private hype button.
Mhm.
Private hype.
That sounds weird, though.
Yes, private! Private!
All right.
It does sound
Alright.
weird.
Anyone up for some
Private
hype?
private convo hype.
There it is.
No.
Adult
It needs a little bit more.
conversations.
Mhm.
Yes.
Too hot for streaming.
XXX coming your way.
It's
We'll just step outside and be rowdy in the.
Excellent.
I've been holding this thing together with gum arabic and a mixture of, well, I don't know, to me at this point. That doesn't really concern me. Let's sit down and let's discuss some brass tacks.
Yes.
So, you're a pragmatic woman. Perhaps we should get your assessment of how this expedition's been going. We've been losing a lot of resources after all. Please give me your honest opinion.
What did you expect, Jimothy, if that's really your name?
You and I both know that is not my real name at all. But I think you knew that from the very beginning, and yet you still hired me. That's an interesting thought. I'll have to put a pin in that. Perhaps it'll come around later. That said,
Perhaps.
you figured out that I am not as I seem, yet you still hired me. I wonder why.
Lawlessness in a lawless place seems a prudent investment.
Is it really just my lawlessness? Or perhaps it's my, I don't know, my ability to somehow survive in ever-increasing odds. I do have my resourcefulness after all.
I can't resist a gamble, it's true. Aspect type.
Yeah.
As can't I, Madam Dree, as can't I. But,
As can't I?
whatever, you know what I mean. Alright, so, that of course is, you know what, I'm going to actually just say that's what he said, and that's just gonna have to be it. He's just a bullshitter. Anyways, there's some things that have been troubling me, and it's getting to the point where it's starting to affect not just my potential profit out of this venture, but, in fact, our collective lives. Do you not agree?
Please, continue.
I see, you do not see, it's not as obvious as I had expected. There are a few people in our group that have been rather troubling, and yes, I am not exactly the most trustworthy person of our group, but I am a, how do I put this? You know what you're dealing with, and you hired me, after all. Yet, some of our other players in this expedition are becoming increasingly a risk to this expedition. I don't know if you've noticed, but our young magician friend here, whatever you want to call him, really, he has become rather obsessed with these intoxicating red stones. Yes, I know they're quite profitable, but it's becoming a worrying concern. I think he might be becoming drunk with power. This young whelp here has become quite the, too big for his britches, if you will. It's really concerning, after all. I mean, he's making demands of people. It's not exactly going to be, I don't know, it wouldn't have been, what he suggested was not exactly a painless operation. Pulling a tooth from a man, that's quite a painful thing there. Now, he doesn't know that this was Ellie held in there with nothing but pure spirit gum, but his decisions are rather rash, and then you come to Yurik, who's definitely been a wild card. That's not something I expected at all. He's definitely got some secrets there, and there's more than he's willing to tell. I mean, after all, there was the judge. What was his name? Yes,
Temperance.
Judge Temperance. He rather put our entire operation in jeopardy for his apparently illegal operations, which he is totally not not guilty of. But let's be honest with you, there must be something that's going on there that would cause a judge to be dispatched this far north. And then that comes to Alexei. Now, Alexei, he's been a very, what I thought of initially as a trusted companion. You know, I signed up for this mission with him. I was hoping to help him find his family so far north in the Forlorn Wastes, and well, ever since he found the remains of his son, he's been becoming decreasingly, I don't know, antisocial, if you will. I mean, he's become a little bit more aggressive than he has been recently. He ran off with a collective group after a ring fall, when it was the obvious choice was that we should not be endangering ourselves. And look, they went up and they found a couple of ice giants and put themselves in danger. I mean, they came back down. Navis had cracked ribs. Can you really trust the judgment of these three characters at this point? I mean, they're it's ridiculous, really. Let's be honest. All I'm saying, you know what? I'm gonna let you speak. You can
No,
go ahead.
go. What? Please drive a point home.
All I'm saying is that it seems as though we should start to cut our losses. There are some people that are becoming increasing risks, and we should start to chart out and calculate who are acceptable risks and unacceptable risks. Yes, we have the brute strength in Alexei, but what would happen if he were to turn his sword towards us? Towards his family, towards his real family, after all. The ones who have helped him through his journey so far. If he were to turn a blade towards you, to me, you know, a Yurik, after all. I don't know if we could stop him. I mean, a man's rage or grief over his son. No one's even spoken to him about it since then. He's become quite withdrawn, really, except for that weird coke-bottled man we saw at the Torben's Cavern. I just don't know what to do about him.
Tell me, Jimothy, what was your motivation in accepting my offer for a position on my expedition?
Well, what do you think? Do you think it was truly just to help out a well-respected soldier, or was there something else going on? You clearly have figured out that I'm not what I seem, and I would not just help a man out of the kindness of my heart.
Profit?
Profit indeed. Profit indeed. Let's just say that it's a loss of profits that's motivating me.
Speak up now. Oh, to pursue the journey in the first place.
Indeed. I would, if I were to simply make...
You entered a deficit.
Okay. Let's drive the point home.
You really don't have any...
Yes, Redstone Ringfall is quite profitable, but I could find quite easier and less perilous journeys or expeditions to find profit. I could be working in a major city. I could be working on peddling whatever wares. I'm pretty good. I'm a decent healer, if it were. I could be running like a clinic. I could be making a tiny profit helping out other soldiers. But this journey, this could cost my life. And you're right. For me to have come so far, merely just to help someone, that doesn't quite add up, does it? I'm after someone in particular. And I fear that our deranged friends are going to jeopardize that mission. What say you of that? We all have our motivations for striking out north. Some to save family, some to find family, some to, in our own, what was it? Our own hubris, attempt to find the mythical dragons. And then there's some that are motivated by revenge.
A dangerous path.
But one that cannot be ignored.
And one that I presume you would prefer to enact yourself?
Well, there are times when I have to see to things personally.
Then...
As you do yourself.
Quite. You do not need to... Well, how should I say this? You need to survive in order to achieve your purposes, yes? Confidentially, Jimothy, I would risk my life for my underlying motive. I do not need to return if I succeed in my quest.
Interesting. So you're on a potential suicide mission. Interesting. Now, I find
This is not the same for you.
if I must perish in my journey, so be it. I will not have someone cross me. That said, if I happen to survive this journey, which is quite unlikely, it would be quite nice. I could start over again, but in order for me to start over, I'm going to need to make sure I tie up all my loose ends. There's one loose end out here in these wastes. I will not have that jeopardized.
My point is, Jimothy, it must be done by your hand, no?
I don't think I could let anyone else do that. I don't
Then
think
you
my...
must survive 3 days in this grove. Yes?
Yes, at least 3 days, perhaps more. But
Then you will defer to the Dracologist.
Fine. I will defer to the Dracologist, but you must do something for me.
I'll hear you out.
First off, our conversation, as you know, would cause quite a bit of trouble if that were to be divulged with the rest of the group, but I took a calculated risk. As someone who can appreciate a gamble,
Everything in confidence.
I also chose not to lie to you at all, to lay out as many cards as I'm willing to give. And be honest with you, this journey is of a personal motivation, not of profit, but of pride. And should there come an issue where swords are drawn from brother to brother or sister, let's not throw gender issues into this, but between family to family, I need to know where your loyalties lie. Would you sacrifice one of many many arms or
Get down. Down. Sorry.
those pesky snow hares that keep jumping in and interrupting us?
Yes.
I need to know if a sword were ever drawn on a fellow member of this expedition, who would you trust? The person who is trying to keep the rest of the group alive, or one who's turning on his own family? Now tell me, from a pragmatic approach, what do you think is the most justified answer? Do you defend your fellow man and carry on in spite of his personal problems, or do you let him strike someone down for a personal conviction?
Does precedent not stand in your favor? Milksmith is still here, though he may have irrevocably damaged my chances on re-entering society.
Well, no, I think we took care of those witnesses the last time when that came up. I don't know if you know this, but the one witness that we allegedly let go, his throat was slit by my blade.
Yes, I'm well aware.
I do think you'll have a problem after all, but that said, I would agree that this was a pragmatic approach. The Milksmith we need on our expedition, not just for his heavy potlet as a shield, as a not a shield maiden, but a shield brother, but also we need someone to be able to help us stretch out our resources. That is why we chose to let him live. I didn't see how this was in my favor at all. We could have cut our losses and left him behind.
And I repeat, does precedent not stand in my favor? You have my word that I will support you, those who have accepted my contract on a suicide mission, over some, as you say, mysterious family figure who may be in the right morally, but opposed to yours truly.
Listen, Alexei has become increasingly aggressive towards his fellow group members, and if he were to raise a blade, I will tell you this. Whether you, with your support or not, there are those that will come to my aid. Do you want to be on the side that's going to survive this expedition, or do you want to just be motivated by petty morals?
Morality and I have been distant for some time.
Accurate.
So do I have
Of this entire party.
do I have your confidence then?
I vow it.
Splendid, splendid. That is wonderful to hear. Now then, is there anything else that you need from me?
Only to follow Ash's orders to
Yes.
the letter with no further disruptions.
Fine, fine. I'll make it a good show, and we'll move on. We'll spend a few days here in these yellow woods, and move further.
All right, we've got a handshake. I'll grab the other folks. Excellent. Seats have been planted.
Thank you, Matthew.
Seeds have been planted in my brain.
Sorry, I was just like,
Running it.
I was like, is this?
In there doing
Wanted to make sure I
nonsense.
had
I like it.
spelled out. Was that too long? Were you guys like out there forever?
That was great.
Okay, cool.
We were doing
I was afraid. I was just like, all right, I want to make sure to wrap this up because I feel like it's horrible to make everybody sit outside.
Ooh, it's so
Yeah,
bright
I
in
feel
here.
disgusted.
Excellent. All right,
Ooh,
so
it feels good.
so that happened.
I can't even.
Great description.
Whatever
Secret
that
convo.
was.
So that happened.
I can't even look back at
Wizard,
the chat.
wizard!
Come on, chat. You
I
guys
will
should-
comply with your quite ridiculous demands and turn over all of my gold. Meaning all of it.
Lhanji makes
Yeah.
eye
So
contact
so what do
with
you guys
Ash.
do with all this gold?
A nod. I suggest that we move it as far away from us as possible. I also suggest that
Do you not want to like pull it like personally out of his mouth, or do we just say?
I mean, is it,
It's up to you how you want to do it.
is it attached, or is it like attached like a tooth, or is it just sort of sitting in there? Can he pull it out? Would he pull it out, or
No.
no? I think Ash would not personally pull it out of his mouth.
Okay.
But would probably at this point is no longer speaking directly to Jimothy. Just
I mean,
speaking-
he'll suffer through it and pull it out himself if he needs to.
He's speaking to Lady Bree, and
He may need some
says,
equipment, some
Lady
hardware."
Bree, we need to collect all of our gold by whatever means that you deem necessary. I feel like perhaps you can find a way to make sure it is all collected.
Navius will see to it.
Thank you. That's
All right.
exactly
Sure
what I
you
wanted
don't
to
want
happen.
We go.
Kalima to do it?
We go behind the bushes like.
Kalima can do the
Oh no!
We'll walk back.
I'm like, oh, my mouth is so, it hurts so much. Please, please take it. Oh,
Surely there's like a chapstick you could apply to it though. Numbing anesthetic chapstick.
Yeah.
oh yes, I have made
It does
cocoa-
that and
cocoa
staves off
leaves.
death.
Ah, I just packed some there. Well, I'm feeling that already.
I sequester Yurik to see if we can remove all the food from his cart, place all the gold in, and basically pack it basically. I'm
you
gonna-
don't even need like a cart for it. It could
Oh, is it-
certainly all be go in like a backpack or something
Oh,
like that. I
okay.
think you guys probably don't
Alright.
have that much gold. That
But I can
Yeah.
take care of it.
I will need my actual.
I-
I can go.
I would
Sure, the
say
gold stays far from here.
I would say that we should place it half a day's ride from this spot.
I will cook tonight and head out before dawn.
I would go with you.
Can I roll to deceive to like hang on to like a couple pieces of gold? I feel like that's a thing my character would have done. Can I roll? It's fine.
well,
if
I mean,
sheepishly
I was considering
forget.
compelling you later on if I needed to,
Okay.
but
well, if you don't,
It sounds
if
like
you
a
recommend
compel.
to
Sounds like
yeah, it does sound like a compel. So
I
I'll
was
just do it.
kinda
I'll just do it
hoping-
now instead.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd get fucked
So,
over
yeah.
and the dragon.
So
would
yeah,
smell.
Jimothy's maybe held on to something that he shouldn't have. But yeah, okay. I kind of have some things that I want to try to get through as quickly as I can. I think some of them are mostly just I want to kind of just describe some things to you guys and things that I think, given enough time in this place, you guys would examine things and like, yeah, learn some stuff. Does that seem cool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so walking around this place, the trees are not all really that healthy, Furla. The ones that you came up to seemed like they were okay, but the other ones that you're coming to now, you feel like they're running out of. I don't think he should be able to.
He was like pushing that.
Oh, weird! I've never seen him do that before.
I'm getting out.
Yeah, trying to make his escape.
Catarask.
Yeah, some of them seem like they're dying, and they basically seem like they're starving. And it's kind of maybe getting you to this larger question of like, what is really feeding all of these trees? What is like, how did they come to be here in the middle of this? In the middle of the forlorn waste, right? This place basically just doesn't make any sense.
And this crater.
And it is in a crater.
It's totally a ringfall thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this
I
would
was
have been
suspecting it.
after some time, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to have been many years ago.
Yeah, just
Like,
looking
better
at it,
from
like looking at the stone and stuff like that. Yeah, it seems like it's been, I mean, eons since.
Do fragments react with other fragments in like weird ways, or
Not necessarily.
would there have been any fragments left? I guess we could search, but never mind.
Does Ash
Maybe there were fragments, but maybe kind of the point is that maybe what would have been left behind is depleted.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, is that worth exploring or not?
Yeah, and I think Ash with like, academics and whatever, checking stuff out, that seems like a reasonable conclusion to come to, is that maybe this grove is kind of, it's depleted of like the magic that like caused it to spring forth, and so it's starting to die. And I could have had you guys roll, but it just takes so much time to do all that stuff. So you guys have multiple days here in this place to be
We took a
hanging
20.
out. Yeah, you took 20.
That's a D&D thing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
The equivalent of rolling the dice 20 times. And
There
then
was
eventually you
also
got a 20.
there was also something else though that was found, a strange like ancient plaque, but nobody can read it. Ash, you can read it, and whether you want to let on to the fact that you can read it or not, I'll allow you to.
Is there a way for me to see what it says before I let on that I can read it?
Yeah, but you're gonna have to make like a translation roll.
Who found it? I think
Is
that's
that
important.
Academics?
Yeah, I mean, who do you guys think found it?
Well,
I'm cool.
We,
if whatever.
we had rode off to go dump the gold.
Okay, yeah. So neither of you guys. So you guys went off to go dump the gold. So it was one of you three.
Probably Furla.
Oh, I was saying we could have found it on our travel there, but you're saying it's
It's in the grove.
I see.
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think Furla.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Furla is really like intensely just hanging out with the trees.
Into the trees.
Yeah.
Jimothy maybe was out wandering around and stumbled over
Stubbed his
a
toe on
rock.
it.
Yeah, stubbed his toe.
Absolutely.
Or Alexi was
Yeah.
doing a little bit more soul searching while wandering through the trees.
Either of
There you
those
go.
are fine. Which one do you guys want?
It doesn't matter. Either one of
Jimothy.
them.
All right, that's where he went off with Navius to go get his tooth pulled, and that's when he stumbled across it as he was coming back, as he was practicing his.
Yeah.
It hurts so much.
Practicing it, yeah.
Yeah, little
Navius rolling his eyes.
He's honor bound.
Yeah,
He's got to shut up.
and he and Lhanji would know.
Does
I think at one point, Furla has a moment that tries to pull Navius into a hug with the tree.
Curious flora, aren't they? Planting fella, is that your name?
I imagine he would
Don't know
like
my
purposefully
name.
just not like have learned anyone's names.
does he break?
As like a way to like throw people down like a peg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actively being.
I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but he's like never like actually. He's like, I don't think he's actually used the name Furla. I mean,
Alright,
Alexi
so
has for
So
sure.
you guys
When-
return.
Once
and
you
this-
return, does I imagine he brings it to everyone's attention, or brings it to the attention of everyone?
What was it again? A stone
It was a
tablet, like
plaque,
a little
yeah.
like plaque. When you say
Yeah.
plaque, like what's it attached
no,
to?
it's
Does it matter?
Like
it is like no, it is. Sorry,
Are we
more
thinking
accurately, it
gingivitis,
is
or-
a stone. It is one of the rocks of this place, and it is in the ground, and it's jutting out of the ground, and on it is these etchings, these runes, but clearly looks like some sort of language, and he cannot read it. Can't make any sense of it.
Okay. Well, I guess I would go up to Ash and be like,
Oh dear boy, there appears to be some scrawlings etched into the side of that cliff face back there, and it's in what looks like a very odd language. I just can't quite read it. Do you think you could come back with me and try to translate it?
Lead me to it.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, I take a look at it. And
And
this would be academics.
mm-hmm.
Baby. Okay, that's a 3.
Okay, I was looking for because of your specific background and knowing this language, or at least part of it, what is translated of it.
Right.
I was looking for a 4.
You got tokies?
I'll spend a toki.
Yeah, and I feel like the only one that makes here is your secret.
"Choke up, baby."
What's up?
I think the only one that makes sense here is your secret.
Yes. Give
Mhm.
us the info.
Oh, secret hype.
Is there a way for you to write it down so I can see it? Or I...
Yeah, what it says.
Yes.
Don't look at anything else on that page.
I'm gonna try to
I saw it.
Just know that I am there.
And it's
Yeah,
okay for you to
anything
just hold
else
on to that for
now?
now and decide what you want to do with it, or ask me about it later, but
I will. So I look at it. I spent some time reading, sort of staring at it,
What
and
does
I
it
imagine
say,
I'm
old
there
boy?
with Jimothy. So
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quite curious, isn't it? What script do you suppose this has been written in?
this is.
Going to sneeze. I appear to be
Clip.
allergic to. I appear
You're
to be
allergic to Lover's Larch.
to Lover's Larch. This eloping forest is quite annoying.
I hate to disappoint you, Jimothy. This is a language that is not one I'm familiar with. But thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Sounds like a deceive roll.
I would love for him.
I
to...
could roll deceive for that.
Yeah. What do I roll like with?
I think it's empathy, right? Or is it will?
Well,
Like it versus
Empathy.
yeah
Empathy.
I'm gonna need my gold tooth back.
I will give you your gold tooth back.
to roll.
Metaphor.
To roll.
Metaphorically,
I
you
need
still
it back
have
again.
Metaphorically, you haven't changed, right?
Well, I just got a 1, so
I got a 2, baby.
I would like to spend a fate token.
Oh, there it is.
Tell us what.
Blend the water, smelling sweetness. I absolutely know that you would know about some sort of like ancient language. I mean, let's put these pieces together. Facts.
we're near the dragons too. Who would write shit in like stone that has nothing to do with dragons? So I'm putting pieces together, and I'm gonna hit doubt. Like, I'm gonna press you. I can't catch you in a lie, but I'm doubting that you don't know anything about this. So if you want me to flavor that, I will
Flavor it up. Yeah, let's,
All right.
let's roleplay.
All right. How you and I don't believe that for 1 minute. Are you really telling me that you cannot read these tablets with this script after all? Like, now I do not pretend to know how to translate a single, I don't know, character from this ancient script, but I know I've seen you translate ancient scrollings out here in the past, and you and I, you seriously tried to tell me that you don't know how to read a single word from this tablet.
Jimothy bearing down.
The Catarask strikes today.
We need a Catarask button.
I do.
Oh, look at that.
And if you,
I got a cat button.
truly want to sell me that story, then perhaps I might spin up a tale myself. I might put a bee in, I don't know, Yerik's ear, Lhanji's ear, about someone who, I don't know, was wasting valuable space on our carts about smuggling some alcoholic libations. I think I just said the same word twice.
It's okay.
That seems like a Jimothy trademark.
Bullshitting his way through improv.
Oozy liquor.
Oh, all right. Listen, Jimothy. I can read what the words
He
say.
is an oxymoron.
I just don't know what it
Walking
means. It's gibberish to me, and it's going to be gibberish to you. It's fair enough to say that it's an old plaque. It means nothing to us here. Let's just move on, shall we?
No, I don't think I'm going to be satisfied with that at all. I don't think. In fact, I know that if this was in... Let's be honest, you and I are both curious creatures after all. You
Please,
would not...
Please don't connect us, Jimothy.
Oh, it's been too late for that after all. After all, we've suffered through so much together. We've set up camps together so much, and we've bonded over... Gosh, I don't remember. I don't know. Go back and watch episode 2 or 3. It was quite great after all.
Yes.
Jimothy. I'm going to make you an offer, and I need you to think long and hard about this one. If you turn around and return to the others now and don't say a thing, I won't kill you here where you stand.
Holy smokes! Ash!
But things happen out in the wastes. Accidents happen, Jimothy. You've seen what I can do.
Oh man! You about to get torched?
Jimothy pops it 21.
Are you good?
Mm-hmm.
Get more. Okay. Okay.
I've said what I need to say.
End of threat.
End of threat.
Are you threatening me?
Just to clarify.
Are you threatening me over some stone tablets? You would really jeopardize this mission. I know that you're not here for just these words on a fucking rock. You're here for the dragons.
You know nothing of what I'm here for, Jimothy.
Then that's precisely the point.
Secret eye.
I know that you're not here for just dragons. I know that we've touched on this before. There's still some details out that you'd rather keep close to heart. But if this is something that would endanger the group, you would be rest assured that I would go and alert the rest of our family. After all, we've been through so much.
Currently, Jimothy, it's only endangering you.
I think the snow vine is like Just like turning back and forth like a tennis match.
Who can I eat? I'll repeat again, Jimothy. It's best for you to walk away and forget about this conversation for your own good.
Let's start with the facts. If you come back by yourself, the group is going to wonder what has happened to the person who tends to their wounds, that mends their broken
You saw the
bones.
page I handed you. Sorry.
If you come back by yourself, the group is going to become concerned that one of our most cherished members of our family has gone missing, and they're going to start searching. And this is a pretty open environment after all. It's quite hard to hide things after all, unless you were to, I don't know, bury a pile of my gold. That said, if they were to come across a charred corpse with only the finest of silks wrapped around it, they might start to ask some questions.
Just like sips in a little bit of like. By the way, my clothes are fantastic.
When they would wonder, oh, this charred corpse, was that a dragon, Alexei? Oh, I don't know. I think that the dragons are far too north from here to possibly be that. Oh, I don't know. It must be. Perhaps it was someone who has control of a fire. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was the conjurer. They're going to assume it's you, idiot! You really think you can get away with that? That's if you can charm me before I run back and sell you out like the fucking idiot that you are! Now, if you ever threaten me, rest assured, do not end in a transaction that is mutually beneficial. Now, if you were to press me, I'm willing to make that gamble. Are you?
I am. I will say this.
You're going to die over a couple of fucking scrawled words on a stone boulder.
I'm willing to die for my purposes.
Then you're a bigger idiot than I thought.
Your days are numbered.
Dang. And somebody walks away.
Ash turns and walks away.
Ash turns and walks away.
He does.
Is the snowvine present?
It's just weird watching you.
It's just looking at Jim. What do you do, Jimothy?
Snowvine watches. It's great.
I think Ash understands Jimothy's reasoning, but I think.
Oh, Ash! Everybody in chat wanted
I
to torch
know
him.
they wanted to. No, but
Is that how you spell your name, by the way? I kind of guessed. as I was
ASCH,
talking.
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
This is your chance.
This is my chance. No, I think that Ash understands Jimothy's reasoning and realizes that he can't make it look like an accident right now. But he will. I think he leaves.
You could send a message if you wanted.
I must have missed something in episode 2 when y'all had a little tip.
I would like to move forward if we can.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we can get back to
I think
this.
Ash walks
I think
away.
this is a good place to
You
leave
can
it.
either walk away
I think the
or...
threat has been made,
Yeah.
and Ash holds to the threat,
Yeah.
but it's not revealing anything.
Yes.
Cool.
Because also in this same place, and yes, you are right, Kirby. It's all the juice, or it's all the battle. This place also holds is very special for another one in our expedition as well.
Yeah, I would say mostly if
What's
you are
Lhanji been
looking
up
to
to?
get in touch with Lhanji, you're finding Navius. And Lhanji has kind of slipped away.
Navius doesn't want to be touched for some reason.
This is the most solid ship we've had so far. It's like really, really attention.
I was specifically thinking of in the moment. Sorry, sidetrack.
I was fine with wherever that went. I was like, this is gonna be fun either way.
There's a line in the Monster Hearts, different game, but the Monster Hearts rulebook about like healing people, and they're like it should always involve some kind of like sexual tension of like patching up each other. Like should always involve some kind of like
I'm down.
weird bonding moment.
You know what?
It's a wonderful
that happens
game.
a lot though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, but
narratively that just naturally occurs. So yeah.
yeah,
We should
mean-
definitely get that game at the table, man. That game is just
I know,
like
I want to.
It's ripe, man. It's
good.
ripe.
So Lhanji has disappeared, basically?
Well, if Lhanji has not gone far, but like if while we're
Lhanji's within the crater.
while we're going about doing like camp setup and so like following Ash's orders for a safe setup. In moments where you typically would turn to Lhanji and ask something, you're finding Lhanji is unavailable, and Navius is the one on hand.
I think Tate attempts to go and find Lhanji. Where she notices
That would make sense.
She notices Lhanji's absence, as she always has sort of like a beat out for wherever Lhanji is, and goes
That
and
would make
tries to
sense.
sort of find her where she is.
Navius very casually calls Tay back. Would you help over here?
What? Lady Bree, do you know her whereabouts?
right?
Lady Bree is taking a moment. A personal moment.
It sounds like perhaps she could use.
No assistance was needed, she assured me. Not the subtlest.
Of course, Navius, I will help you with your task.
My canvas folding, yes.
Right.
Usually is better with two people.
Of course,
If you'll take the far end.
would, as we are working here together, I'd be most curious as to what has happened to our fearless leader. I'm going to try and enchant Navius.
Things are getting spicy in this fucking crater.
Right? Crater spice.
And for once,
Crater
Yurik
spice.
is like chilled out. Yurik's like, let's go.
All right,
We're gonna ride
I got a
dump this
plus.
gold
I got a
out.
+2 on enchanting.
Do I
Will save, right?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, since
Oh, you
I
just
leveled
leveled
up,
up.
I just get Will. And I got a 2.
It's a boo.
2. That's
Boosty
a.
boost.
Do I get a boost against Navius or? How does that work?
Some tokies.
Toki
Use some
tokes.
I love that.
Hell yeah. I'm
term.
using
That
tokies.
tonight.
I'm
that
using
aspect.
Tokies.
I had a friend whose
Uh,
cat was named Toki,
Oh,
and it just kind of
hold
stuck.
on. So sorry.
Toki.
You used your secret aspect, but you didn't give us the bit of information. Right?
Oh.
I was gonna say something, but then he noticed like that he did in fact translate it, and I think
Yeah,
that
I feel like
conversation
that's
that
an
ensued
secret.
basically was the like, trouble that
we
came from
talked
it.
about also. Well, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me.
We've hit. On
I thought
it
about it,
earlier.
but then I was like, they're already in this dramatic. Like it was revealed,
Yes.
right?
Gotcha.
Strike the secret height.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've
So
already
strike
like,
it.
lightly
Throw out all the
touched on it,
popcorn
and
in the
this is just
presents.
round 2.
Now
I'm-
you are
so-
boosting.
I am gonna boost as always wins over the crowd, and
Yeah.
the crowd being Navius in this aspect, and I'm going to try and get it out of him where Lhanji went and why she is, where she went, why.
What?
I would just
How does Tay's enchantment?
I mean, honestly, this being a D&D world, I'm seeing it kind of as, some sort of Jedi mind trick thing, right?
Yeah,
I think
sort of-
Navius will know that it happened
Okay,
after the fact.
after
Like,
the
right
fact.
now, he'll be fine, but then in, like, a half hour or something, he'll be like, wait a second.
I
like,
really like the idea that suddenly Navius kind of gets a serene, complete,
yeah.
so at ease, which he should not be at all in this harsh setting. He
Yeah,
he looks like he's about to sit down.
I would
and just
love
have
to
a glass of
know
wine.
where Our Lady lady went, wouldn't you please?
Tay and Navius
please
just like smoked a joint.
Yeah. In Navius
Just
vision,
like
they're like
spill
on
it,
the
bro.
veranda back from the capital.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like she's trying to like sort of make it part of like this canvas putting up as she's like moving her hands.
Oh, Lady
You
Bree.
would I know that she would really appreciate my just a listening ear. I would just love to know where she is. And,
You know she's like a daughter to me.
oh, I do, of course.
So of course I was deeply troubled when Isolde fell ill, and
More like Blazius.
Dadgummit.
Kitty and Kirby.
Yep.
That fine lover's lurch green.
Everything we've lost up to this point would all be worth it if she could only succeed in finding the cure-all that is said to grow here. I doubt not that that's what she's off searching for.
Of course you're right. It would all be worth it for the next Lady Free, as it were.
A tear
Do you-
comes to Navius's eyes.
For baby free.
Baby Free.
Baby Free.
Do you perhaps know which direction she went? I feel like I would love to provide any assistance that I can.
Yes, we very much hope there will be a next Lady Free.
I got him too stoned.
Yeah,
Too stoned. Just like, too much.
One token
Just-
instead of two
Just
next time.
to point him in the direction. Any
Two
sort of
turkeys is
guidance
fine.
would be appreciated.
Tokies.
he lets the canvas drop and sits heavily.
Oh, the canvas.
Is this becoming a triangle?
Um,
Please. Please be.
And he stares off in a direction
Yeah,
that
I
you
was
assume
gonna point that out to you earlier.
is where he last saw Lhanji and seems lost in thought.
I appreciate the information. I'm assuredly that you could find another gentleman here amongst the crowd to help you with this tent. I'm going to go and see if I could be of any of assistance to Lady Bree.
Yes, I'm sure Grail will take care of it. He looks around absently. Transported, it seems, to another place and time.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, I Tay goes out to seek Lady Bree where she is, in the direction that Navius stared off.
Yeah, I think that she probably finds her
Okay.
without too much problem.
What is Lady Bree? What does she come upon? What does she see?
Imagine a child looking for a four-leaf clover. Lhanji is crouched at the base of trees, just casting about, looking things over, shaking her head, seeming frustrated, looking at other corpses, moving on.
Does she even know what she's looking for? Maybe.
Tay clears her
Shit.
throat.
I wish I'd known it was a plant.
Lady Free.
I didn't know. I'm a plant.
Also, medicine guy.
Yeah.
Whole arc.
No, you need to ask for help, sir.
You gotta
Sure.
learn to trust your new family. This is the whole
Timothy is
point.
your new family.
It's like
He's a creepy uncle everyone loves.
Tay calls out, Lady Free, do you need any assistance?
I wasn't expecting company.
I hope I'm not intruding, but it seems like you're looking for something, and I feel like I could help.
Straight up deceive right now. Oh, that's a +1.
Wait, am I rolling will, or can I roll?
I think
can I roll
empathy.
rapport for that? Empathy?
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm deceiving.
Oh yeah,
Empathy.
empathy is the.
Hell yeah. Okay, I got a 3. Level up, baby.
Boost makes it a tie, and then what?
Oh,
I
I'm
don't really know what
re-rolling.
that
I
means
have
if-
-3.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
adventurous aristocrat who hates to lose I'm not about
Re-rolling.
to divulge things I wasn't prepared to share. Yikes.
I
You
love
still
that your
got
high
me.
aspect can just be invoked in like any situation.
Yeah, it's such a
Hates
good
to
aspect
lose.
in that way. Yeah.
Hates to lose, man.
Yeah,
will not be bested.
that's a +2. So
I got a
you're
+3.
you're going to see right through me when I say, I think I lost an earring.
I see right through it, but
you play
I
along.
respond.
You've learned well.
Oh, you have such beautiful earrings. Please, let me stay a while
Has
and help.
not worn an earring the whole time.
Yeah. Please let me stay a while and help you look. And Tay gets down on sort of her hands and knees and starts looking around. After a bit of time pass, I think Tay turns and says, "And now, I haven't been able to find an earring here. I feel like there must be something else that's troubling me."
Well, you made it past Navius, so I dare say you know something.
Old Navius is quite fond of you, and I think he just realized that, maybe you could use some help.
Furla would really be my preference if not. I'm not trying to be.
She feels that
choosy or
in the heart.
dismissive,
She feels it deep down.
but I simply don't know what I'm looking for. It may just be myth.
I feel like if you are to need help, you would need to tell me more of what you're after.
I've got it. This is perfect. You can ask Furla. Ask Furla to identify all the plants in the crater. It's not that unreasonable of a request. You're an academic of sorts. Please do this for me.
I was never very into the school stuff.
Well, then ask Ash. Just anyone, but I would rather not ask Furla for help.
I think in the far background, Furla is like doing the sun.
Stretched out.
The sun thing.
Furla
That's right,
seems-
she's soaking up the sun.
I think that Tay is excited to have sort of like a sort of
An opportunity
inside.
to help, and yeah.
I would be happy to ask Furla. What am I asking her to find?
Simply to report on all of the wildlife in the area.
I think you maybe have some sort of a description that you could relay. You don't have to make it up on the spot, but you can relay that you're looking for. It's got a blue bloom and whatever, like 3 flowers,
Gotcha.
and a blue blossom.
I will speak to Furla, and I will keep my eyes out. And you know that whatever you need, you can always come to me, whether here or back at home. I am
In the courts.
I am at your service.
I don't know how much. Well, you beat my deception, but it's up to you how the combination of like starstruck distraction and successful empathy is at play. But Lhanji is like the most frazzled that she has ever appeared. She's like desperately searching and is like kind of rapidly going back and forth between like trying to play it cool and looking into Tay's eyes with a fervor that is alarming.
And I think that the Tay doesn't have any sort of like dark intent here. She just wants to get on Lhanji's good side, and like so she's seen Lhanji like out of control for sort of the first time, so she wants to be the one to like help her in this moment. So I don't think she's gonna press at all. I think she would go and actually speak to Furla and do what Lhanji's asking, because she doesn't have any like ill will or anything like that. She's just like trying to gain favor in sort of a difficult moment. At the same time, also wanting to just be helpful.
Yes.
All right.
Get the strings.
So,
Yeah.
I think Tay makes her way back kind of toward wherever the group is camped here in the base, kind of set up in the basin. You don't immediately find Furla.
Yeah.
And she finds Ash looking over a book, as he's often kind of studying, right? And goes over and asks Ash where Furla is, right?
Right.
If he's seen Furla anytime soon, and he kind of like ignores her for a moment, like he often does, and then
Yes.
finally looks
Yes.
up at Tay, and is like looking at her, but then she can just tell, like he often is, that his mind is in another place, right?
Uh-huh.
But he's looking past her and like up toward the sky to the south, and a look comes across his face as he's seeing something in the sky. He's seeing like flitterings. All it is like momentary like flashes and like speckles of gold, right? The sky is dark. You guys are so far above you're so far north that it's mostly like kind of twilight, and there's only a couple hours of day, and I think it's kind of in one of these twilight states right now. And you're seeing this gold glittering up in the sky that you've heard described before of the dragonflight. Yes, that at times if someone is in a place that is, if the sun is at a point where it's hitting things that are up high in the sky, but the sun has yet to hit down low where you guys are, then it's seen as like a gold like sparkle, almost like this crazy, like the sky is like just glittering with gold, right? And it's the sunlight hitting like their wings and hitting like their scales and stuff, and shining off in this crazy.
Ash looks up and just says very quietly, "They're here."
Yeah.
Tay, you need to gather everyone. Gather everyone quickly.
To the safe room.
I think
To me.
There is
Gather
no
everyone
safe
to
room.
me.
I think honestly they're here, and I think that's a good place to cut it. I was gonna do a thing of basically you guys are gonna hopefully be trying to hide from this dragonflight, right? As Yurik had guessed. So we'll do some sort of a thing where like people will prepare, and you guys will try to make some sort of a hide. But I don't want to run too late. We're already like over 10 o'clock.
There
So
was one thing that I want to do that I think could be done really quickly, if that's okay, because I haven't got to do a whole lot tonight.
That would have been cool because I was kind of
hoping that
also.
when we went off to do the gold, to toss the gold, Yurik was going to try to kindly and most just interested as he could in Ash's abundant knowledge of dragons, and learn as much as he possibly could in that little endeavor. If Ash was willing to share, Yurik was just very interested in their habits.
Yeah. So it's just Ash and Yurik
Yeah,
out,
we went
out
to take
delivering the gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down with doing that.
I was just hoping for. I don't need to roleplay it. I was just looking for a boost for a future encounter with a dragon. That's all I was looking for. Was get some information that could serve me in the future.
I mean, we can roleplay it if you want. Just
I don't know. I don't know
for,
that
like,
you need to, but
specific-
like you guys know that you've had this conversation, and
Right.
I mean, I guess it's really like creating an aspect, but it might be hard to keep track of. But I'm okay with.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
If you would give that information freely because you were pumped about it, then maybe I could get the aspect. If I needed to roll for it, then I could roll for it.
I would, yeah. If you were out with Ash alone, Ash always does better one-on-one with people, and I feel like he has, over time, grown in affection and respect for Yurik. So I think that anything that Yurik would be asking, sort of related to, like how to, I guess, stay safe around a dragon.
Stay
or
safe, like what their mating habits are, how their flight goes.
I think
like
Ash would be
food
pretty
that they
stoked
love.
that you were interested in sort of like the
That's
more
all the knowledge he
mundane
wants.
details
Yeah.
of dragons. So he would
Cool.
probably, he would spill it
Cool.
one on
love
one
it.
with
Sweet.
you. Yeah, he would be
Yeah.
into that.
I love it.
Okay, something super important needs to be done.
Is it the poem?
Kirby has this poem that needs to be
Oh.
read.
It's baller.
And I need you guys to do the traditional thing that is the response to poems being read as I read it, to go,
Okay, yes.
Okay,
I'm
ready.
into this.
and like a snapping at the end,
Yeah.
of course.
Certainly.
This is written by Kirby written by at Kirby in a hoodie.
Who's it illustrated by?
to be determined.
To be continued.
Within the crater of the woods, the party splits and breaks. The twists and turns the traitor earns, matched by the gains he makes. In each good soul there lives a thing for which they must now search, but all must go, friend turned foe, within the lover's lurch.
Yes! Fuck, that's yes! Damn! I love it.
Beautiful.
So good. Good work. Good work.
That was perfect.
That's
on the other
quality
side of the
content.
Yes.
Outstanding.
Quality
Outstanding.
content.
Quality.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So,
Quality.
tune in next week and we will see how
They
the
are
White Nell
here.
Grove should fare. Will it indeed be lit in flames as Furla's visions?
No. That will not happen.
No, because
No.
we're gonna drama the dragon to death.
Yes.
We're gonna flavor
We
it.
will
to
beseech
death.
it.
Will the gold in Jimothy's pocket lure the dragons too close to the grove?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Only
Damn.
the dice know this.
Will Kalima sprout a third horn?
Tricorn!
Tricorn agor.
Tune in next week for episode 13 of a campaign with dragon in it, and this will be the first appearance of a dragon in the 13th episode.
Hell yeah.
Some George R.R. Martin shit.
But also on Tuesday, I'm playing
Yes.
in a game with Unmade Gaming, a Numenera game, which is going
Fork
great.
yeah.
Sweet.
And Wednesday, another Numenera game, actually on our stream of the Machine God,
Holy
the
moly.
module written by Bruce Cordell and Monica Games. So tune in for those as well. All of that is at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Episode
Cool.
13. How about that?
So we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Fridays.
Be there or be parallelogram. Well, the parallelogram is similar in shape to a
Technically.
All right, Pose. Stay tuned for Great Raid.